This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, yo, man. Happy Wednesday. How the heck are you? The Monty Show, as always, is presented by our good friends at The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365. You never have to pay to chat with one of the best injury attorneys in the country. You can do it live online for free at TheAdvocates.com because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at TheAdvocates.com. Holy cow. We have a busy show for you as always. And it's interesting, on days like this, I am curious where your head's at, because we have a lot of breaking news today. This Bosa story in San Francisco, the 49ers, who I think for the longest time were struggling to figure out what they were going to do with Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa has reached a 5-year, $170 million extension with the San Francisco 49ers. Absolutely a game changer. There is no question Nick Bosa is one of the most important defensive players in that locker room. But are you really telling me he's worth $170 million?
Yeah, I mean, I think, for the 49ers, it's a situation where this guy's a playmaker. This guy was, getting ready to get real comfortable on his couch for week one, and now that all goes away. Obviously, now he reports and is, I would assume, ready to go. And I think that, for a Super Bowl contender, because I think that's what we need to call them. Obviously we need to see just how good Brock Purdy's going to be coming off the UCL. But all things considered, if he can just be better than what they've had, and then Bosa can make plays for you, and obviously your defense as a whole lives up to it as it always does, they're going to be a really good team. And I think this is one of those where yeah, sure, do I like the fact that I believe it's 126 of this is guaranteed?
Yeah.
That's a pretty heavy number for this contract.
Jeez, you think?
But ultimately, the way if I was the 49ers and advised him, the way I'd think about it is, hey, when we get down to it, when we're in November and you're playing for the division, or we're in, November and you're trying to, find your way and you need a play at the end of a game, he's going to run the quarterback down. And I think that's really what you're paying for here. Yeah,
it looks like Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs will not play tomorrow night. He does not have ACL damage, but he has a severe bruise on his knee. This Caleb Williams story at SC, Caleb Williams is threatening to skip the NFL draft because he does not want to play for the Arizona Cardinals, which I don't think we have ever seen this play out this way. Obviously, you had the Eli Manning, San Diego Chargers situation. Okay, I think totally different. This is a kid saying, hey, I'm making enough money in college, and he made $3 million last year.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams won the Heisman Trophy. This is a situation where I'm making so much money in college that I don't have to kowtow to the almighty NFL because I don't want to play for the Arizona Cardinals, which is remarkable. And I think it's actually really smart. Why would you, if you're Caleb Williams, want to go and play for the Arizona Cardinals? Caleb's dad told GQ magazine that it's a racket, and that guys like Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, he pointed to, Archie Manning back in the day, talking about how all their careers were ruined because of where they were drafted in the NFL, and he doesn't want his son to see a similar fate.
Facts.
I don't know that Caleb Williams is ultimately going to be able to avoid the Arizona Cardinals because they suck out loud every year, let's be honest. But I think this is a brilliant move. I think this is also the very first time that we have seen a big-time athlete leverage NIL, Jake, and I think this is exactly what NIL was designed to do.
Yeah, and I think it just provides a layer of security for guys at Caleb Williams' level because, yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with his dad. I mean, where you go, especially as a quarterback, really determines, how much of a launch you get. I mean, I look at Zach Wilson and the Jets, and this is somebody who was basically left for dead until AR-12 happened, right? I mean, until Aaron Rodgers' situation, if you will, started to, boil over in Green Bay and the Jets trade thing started to pop up, Zach Wilson was left for dead. This was a guy who was going to struggle to finish his rookie contract, was going to struggle to renew, certainly. And so, I definitely think your situation matters. Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler's just somebody who isn't good enough. I mean, yeah, sure, he's got talent, but with Kyler, there are multiple times where it's like, yeah, he made the wrong play. He ran too much. He did this. He did, you're just not good enough. So is that all in the organization? No, but I agree with the sentiment that where you get drafted plays a big time, factor in how long you play in the league.
But ultimately, this is why players wanted NIL.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted NIL to have leverage. They wanted NIL to help them make better decisions that benefited themselves. That's exactly what this is. This is the first time, and I don't know in the comment section if you guys remember one that I'm forgetting. I don't remember a kid saying, "Yeah, I'm not going to follow the traditional path because I'm making enough money in NIL that I don't have to."
Mm-hmm.
He and it's a huge risk. There's no doubt about that. The NFL guaranteed money is a golden parachute for generations. And if you're Caleb Williams and you're this talented, and there's a good chance he'll be back-to-back Heisman Trophy, Caleb Williams, that he'd come back and play another year at SC would be shocking. It'd be shocking, but again, I think this is why we have NIL. This is why we have NIL. And I think it is. I think it's exactly what Caleb Williams should be doing, trying to control his destiny.
Yeah,
and I have no problem with it.
Dude, for Caleb Williams, I think the other factor here, too, is the Big Ten. I mean, you're talking about, a guy who's got access to the college football playoff. And, he currently plays in the undefeated 13-0 Pac-12 right now, which we're going to talk a lot about today. I mean, he's playing in a good football conference. There's no doubt about that. And I think for Caleb Williams, when you look at the path you're going to take, I mean, dude, if you're number one this year, who's to say you can't be number one next year? I mean, again, if next year we're talking about him having skipped the draft and then goes out and dominates the Big Ten and takes SC to its first, Big Ten championship, and they go to the college football, dude, he's going to be number one again next year too. So for him, yes, it is a risk, obviously, on the injury front, but I think he's done so much in college football from a scouting perspective that even if he were to blow out his knee, he's still a top 10 draft pick any way you slice it. So for this guy, I just think there's no reason to be an Arizona Cardinal. I agree.
Yeah, I would not want to play for the Arizona Cardinals. And I see a lot of people, Roundabout says, NIL was not designed to allow players to give the NFL the middle finger. Just stop. Nobody said it was designed for college players to give the NFL the middle finger. It was designed to allow them to make better, more educated decisions that they feel like are better for their lives, to give them financial freedom and allow them to make money when everybody else around them is already making money off of them.
Yeah, I mean, what happens when you get to decide or make a decision that's not based on money, as a Caleb Williams, let's say, or whoever you want to point to? Again, Bosa's, the Bosa brothers, let's say, or the C.J. Strouds of the world, any of these top-end prospects coming out of college before NIL didn't have the ability to be like, dude, I'm not going to the league because why?
When's the last time we heard a player saying, I don't need NFL money right now, I can wait?
You used to have, I remember when Christian McCaffrey skipped his bowl game all those years ago, and people were pissed about that.
Go back to the guys who've tried to get in the league early. We've seen that several times. Maurice Claret at Ohio State comes to mind as a guy who sued and tried to get into the NFL early.
Mm-hmm.
That was totally different. If I go back and think all the way to oh my God, the Denver Bronco quarterback, the baseball player. Oh my God, horseface, John Elway. If you go back to John Elway,
I thought we were talking about Tim Tebow for a minute. My bad. Sorry.
Why would you bring God into this? Anyway, go back to John Elway. I'm pretty sure John Elway threatened to go play baseball and was a baseball player. This is not the first time we've seen a player trying to control his destiny. This is the first time a player has control of his destiny.
Yes.
As a star player who can say, yeah, I don't need the NFL's money. I'm going to stay at SC. I'm going to stay in college. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
And you know what? For Caleb Williams, I'm thrilled.
Man, people get all pissy about it. Like, dude, ultimately, like, change is happening, right? Like, whether it's this whole, everyone's, just raging affinity for Colorado right now after what happened, or this Caleb Williams thing, or whatever, dude. Like, things are changing, and I think that players need the ability to leverage their position, and they deserve that ability. And I don't know, dude. I agree NIL wasn't created or designed with the intent to give players the ability to, give the NFL the bird. But at the same time, that's ultimately what it leads to. You're giving them the ability to make decisions that are not based in finances. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Gage Carter says he's a baby. Tarrant County says Jake's hitting puberty.
What the hell does that mean, bro?
I'm not sure. Phoenix Master. No, I'm sorry. This is not your subject. Arizona fans can't catch a break. No, it's bad. Jim Choi, Caleb's in Wendy's commercials and is Pepper Dr. Pepper. Okay, Jim. John Teal gives us $2 to say Elway told the Colts no. I'll play for the Yankees. Correct. Absolutely correct.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one.
Right? Cleveland Rocks gives us $10. Thank you, Cleveland. Observations, Ohio State has quarterback issues. The 3 teams in the Big 12 that are expected to challenge for a championship won easily. 4 or 5-star players don't guarantee victory. Clemson 56, Duke 2. It was a wild weekend.
Clemson fan is so bitter.
Clemson fan is upset.
So bitter, dude.
Clemson fan is upset.
It's probably different than what you're thinking, though.
There's no doubt. Mike Smith, Eli was drafted by the Chargers. He was. But where did he end up? He got traded to the Giants. That's my point. Rick Olson says Bo Nix came back because Bo Nix is not an NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very big difference. Are we really comparing Bo Nix? It's come on now. San Diego State Aztec, Glenn, how are you? There's only one horse face. This one's for John. I probably feel no guilt at all that's how I recalled his name.
Mm-hmm. Horseface?
Horseface.
Yeah.
Flat Earth Society. Okay. Monty, your bitterness towards Harbaugh is funny. He is odd. Think of the 59 Eagle Scout. That's him. The hate is just weird to me. I don't hate Jim Harbaugh. Some of it's entertainment. 99.9% of it is Jim Harbaugh is a selfish a-hole.
You're a douche.
Who doesn't have regard for the kids in his program. And who the problem I have with Jim Harbaugh is the arrogance. I don't like the arrogance.
Yeah.
I don't like that Jim Harbaugh thinks he's bigger and better than everybody because he's not.
It's a we fence.
And he thinks that saying shit like we fence, excuse my French, he thinks like saying stuff like we fence is I'm hipper than everybody else. I'm suspended, but I still do my weekly press conference because I'm not really suspended. It's self-imposed. Like, the guy's just, he's...
What a douche.
Come on now. I am... Yeah, I don't know.
The shtick gets tired with Jim because he doesn't win national championships, dude.
It does.
Yes, you might be a strong contender in the Big Ten, sure, but dude, I mean, at some point, you really have to have the hammer on the Ohio State. And I know. Here comes Ohio State fan.
And he does right now.
And all your Buckeye stickers on your helmet. You're going to tell me, well, we beat them twice and once at the shoe. What are you talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is that Ohio State regularly, consistently, 8 out of 10 games is dominating you. Like, it's 2 games, dude. It's time to move on from that and beat them again.
Listen, that's great. That's doing your job. I'm not going to pat you on the back for paying child support. You're supposed to beat Ohio State. You're the Michigan Wolverines. I'm just not a Harbaugh guy. I'm not. I am not a Harbaugh guy in any way, shape, or form. Roundabout. I came in late. Maybe I missed the part where it was said that Caleb was skipping to play his senior year. What do you mean skipping to play his senior year? That's not at all why he is coming back. You guys, it's in GQ magazine.
Yeah, dude.
Listen to what his father said. The way the system is constructed, you go to the worst possible situation. the worst possible team, the worst organization in the league because of their desire for parity gets gets the first pick. So it's a gift and a curse. I mean, I've talked to Archie Manning. His career was shot because he went to horrible organizations.
Mm-hmm.
He's not skipping the NFL draft because he wants to be a senior. He's skipping the NFL draft because he doesn't want to be on a terrible team. And he's pointing this at the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
He talked to Kyler Murray. He talked to Lincoln Riley. He doesn't want to be an Arizona Cardinal. That's exactly what this is. Because it's the projections are the Raiders, the Saints, the Cardinals, or the Cowboys. Those are the 4 teams projected. And the Cowboys, that feels out of left field, but maybe it happens. Those are the 4 teams projected to have the worst records in the NFL by some. He doesn't want to play for the Arizona Cardinals. He just does not. And I don't blame him.
Yeah, and by the way, if you have access to Lincoln Riley, you really think he doesn't have access to Cliff Kingsbury? You think he doesn't have access to a guy that was the head coach of the football team? Like, dude, come on.
I will again say I love the idea that Caleb Williams is empowered to make this decision because the money's not the overreaching goal here. It's not the main thing in his life.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part where I said we've never seen this before, where a kid said, I don't need the money. I am going to go do what I want to do, which is stay at SC. We've never seen that before.
We're in a control position.
Especially not somebody that was going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, which Caleb Williams would be. There's no doubt. Delaric. With NIL, we see more players using all of their college eligibility because they don't need NFL to earn. I think it's that simple. I think that's huge. This is something of note that we as fans need to follow all season long.
Yep.
We need, because injury's going to change this, SC's fortunes, because I think they're going to have a very difficult time running the table in November. I mean, there's a lot of situation here that's going to have to play out. There's a lot of situation that's going to have to play out, and it's something we have to watch very closely. And I speaking of SC, I think the question of the day, by the way, is the Pac-12 the best college football conference in America right now? And my real question is, how would you look at any other conference as being better than an undefeated Pac-12 conference? Big wins on national TV. You know, Oregon, Washington, you look at Utah beating Florida. I think the Pac-12 is the best conference in the country, top to bottom right now. I look at the way DJ Uiagalelei played at Oregon State. I thought he was fantastic, that Stanford and Cal got wins. You look at this conference, and you look at Jaden Rashada at Arizona State. I think you look at the Cam Wards at Washington State. The quarterback play in this conference, and I know we've talked about this a lot this summer, but the quarterback play in this conference is ultimately going to determine who wins and who loses. And, Jake, I think right now the best quarterback play and the best football play is in the Pac-12.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's a conference full of talents at quarterback. And I think that, Caleb Williams is just the tip of the iceberg, if you will. I mean, it's Oregon State, it's Washington. I mean, there's so many guys in this league that can play. And I think the trouble is for the Pac-12 is that I feel like we have this conversation every year. And it's like, hey, we're really strong. We get big wins early in the year. Like, we play our ass off early in the year. And then it kind of fizzles out when we get later in the year. And I'm not exaggerating with this. The hype around the Pac-12 fizzles out later in the year. And why do you think that is? Well, it's because soccer writer guy doesn't watch. East Coaster doesn't watch. You know why? Because it's dark outside. Nobody wants to stay up to watch a West Coast conference. And I think that's a huge thing for all these West Coast schools that have come to the Midwest and the Big Ten and the Big 12. You're going to get people that have to watch because you're playing K-State, you're playing Ohio State, you're playing whoever. Like, you're not giving them a choice when the matchup is as big as it's going to be.
Or when Dion is coaching the team that is playing your team or is on the TV. Because the other thing, look at the Colorado TCU number. My God.
Do you believe?
7 million plus tuned in to watch Dion. I didn't say Colorado. To watch Dion take on TCU. 7 million people So not only are you undefeated as a league, not only do you have the biggest name and the biggest story in college football in Deion Sanders, but you also have the best quarterback league in the country and the best quarterback play in the country. Never mind that Cam Rising did not play for Utah. Let's not overlook that fact. You have everything right now in front of you. I don't think there's any question going to week 2. The Pac-12 is the best conference in the country for football. But I also don't think there's any question the Pac-12 is going to eat itself here coming into October. I have no doubt about it. It's what has ailed this conference for 12 years, is that you have never been able to do what Georgia is doing in the SEC cupcake schedule, to do what Ohio State and Michigan are doing in the Big Ten cupcake schedule. You just don't have that option in the Pac-12 because it's 12 teams that are all individual and unique and run their faces into each other. And it's why I question USC's ability to run the table late in the year because the schedule becomes so difficult. It's what you want to talk about Bo Nix. What happened to Bo Nix last year? Bo Nix ran into that Beaver buzzsaw and, frankly, ended their hopes at the college football playoff. Now you put up 81 points with Bo Nix, and maybe Oregon's trying to prove a point.
I'm for real.
Is there anybody that doubts Oregon's a college football playoff team today? Because I don't. I look at Michael Penix in Washington. That's a college football playoff team. Caleb in SC. That's a college football playoff team. I look at Utah's defense. That's the best defense in the conference, and I think it's a top 5 defense in the country. They could easily be a college football playoff team. Yeah, they're going to have to get through the conference first.
And I know it pisses everyone off. Oh, but the SEC, the SEC.
Yeah.
And I know the SEC has been winning championships left and right. I don't dispute that. But we're not talking about winning championships right now. We're talking about the best conference in the land. And I think I think the Pac-12 has a real stake at that. And it's really, again, I keep saying it, it's really unfortunate that this conference died because, again, this is the type of quality it produces on the football field. They just can't seem to get it done in winning season at the end of the year. And that's what I think the quite literally the double-edged sword is. You have such a good conference that none of your teams can survive, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I think it's a significant problem. I think it is a significant problem, and that if you're a fan of the Pac-12, you had better enjoy it while you can. Oh, look who's back. Aaron Wilson after taking a day off. After taking a day off, look who's back. Look who's back from Wyoming. Good to see you, Aaron. Good to see you. Let's see. Provo Cougar fan. Too bad there isn't a 12-team college football playoff this year. Seriously. JC, what conference doesn't eat itself? The SEC does not eat itself.
Nope.
The Big Ten does not eat itself.
Nope.
The ACC's ever deeper. And Florida State now. Did you guys see Brett McMurphy today? And I want to make sure I get this right. Because the good old Brett, I don't know if Brett McMurphy is just trying to stir the pot.
There's some wild shit going on right now.
But I don't know what my guy is doing when he's doing these bowl projections. Like, hey, come on now. Brett, just it's week 2. Can we just not do bowl projections?
Look here, man.
Can we just wait? And I love the fact that, hey, LSU and Florida State drew 9 million viewers. But I love that Colorado and TCU drew 7.2 million viewers, and people are ripping the Pac-12 for that. As though because it's Deion drawing the 7.2, there's a problem with it. There's no way to have a problem with the Pac-12. The biggest story in college football is Deion Sanders in Colorado, and he currently resides in the Pac-12. Might be for just 15 more minutes, but he currently resides in the Pac-12, and they drew 7.2 million fans to the tube.
Yep.
Like that, there's no way to spin that.
No way around it, man.
There is no way to spin that.
I think again, and I'm sure you guys have gotten your fill probably 10 times over on Deion talk, but I think, dude, Deion deserves a lot of credit, man. And I know it's only one game, but I agree with all the people saying, hey, he's already been more successful than they were. Right? He's already changed the tide of that program. And everyone's like, oh, well, it's only one win. They had one win last year. Okay, great. Difference is one win is week 1, not week 10. Like, It's different. And by the way, he's making them a crap load of money. So, I think it's, again, just going to keep saying it. This conference is very healthy on the football field, and you're starting to get a taste of what the Big 12 and the Big 10 are going to be like.
Yep, I agree. Mike Smith, good afternoon to you. If it has not already, Caleb should take some of that NIL money and get some Lloyds of London type insurance. He has it, and SC helps him provide it in case he gets hurt and cannot play again or draft stock drops. Yeah, he absolutely has it. And SC helps him pay for that policy. So, yeah, it is absolutely the case. Stephen Keel says, yeah, you say Michigan has not won. When has the PAC? What has that got to do with anything? What is the Pac-12's lack of college football playoff presence? What has that got to do with Jim Harbaugh being an abject failure as a football coach at Michigan? What are we comparing the two for? Why aren't you asking how come SMU or the AAC or the ACC or the – because you can't talk directly about Jim Harbaugh being nothing but a failure at Michigan. Because that's what he's been.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of, like, Utah got blown out in the Rose Bowl and play no defense in the PAC. So clearly, I'm just going to guess you've never seen Utah play a football game. Because that's one of the most foolish statements I've ever seen.
Yeah, and we're not the only ones who respect Utah's defense.
Come on now. Jim Choi, Pac-12 constantly cannibalizes each other every year.
Yes.
Every single year.
Yes.
Every year they do. Derek Myrie says Michigan is the truth. I don't doubt they're more talented. I don't doubt that Jim and his staff have done a good job recruiting and that this is one of the most talented teams. Now you need to, in his final year at Michigan, you need to go and show us that you're the truth. Because you haven't been the truth in I don't know how long. Michigan.
In fact, you've been everything except the truth.
Jim Harbaugh's been nothing short of a massive disappointment, and his NFL threat every summer is getting old. And I'm not even a Michigan fan. And I'm over with it. I just can't do it. Let's see. Who else? Boy, there is some heat in the comments section today.
What are people pissed about?
Man, I am amazed by it. I am amazed by it. It is, we'll see. Kaufman, I still think it's way too early to say any conference is the best after week one. Okay, well, who's the best conference after week one?
Pac-12.
Yeah, I don't. Is this really
13-0?
Is it really objectionable that the Pac? And I'm happy. Let's do a poll on it.
Yeah,
let's do a poll on it. Okay, start the poll,
guys. We're doing a poll.
Is the Pac-12 the best football conference in America?
Do you believe?
Let's see. Start the poll. There you go. The poll has been posted in the chat. Is the Pac-12 the best football conference in America?
Here we go.
Or excuse me, in America.
Merca.
I don't know how you say no. Objectively, I don't know how you say no.
Well, I just think there are too many people out there who have the take that Utah sucks and they don't play defense. Like, dude, if you're that guy, you need to step down off your high horse as whatever fan you are and go watch some Utah football tape, because I guarantee you their defense is better than yours.
Aaron Wilson says, I was here yesterday.
No, you weren't.
Really?
No, you weren't.
Really?
Oh, no.
We were looking for you.
You were not here.
Yeah.
You were not here, dog.
Harry Austin, SEC is overrated as a conference. It's top-heavy, but the conference is poor after that. Well, somebody forgot to tell Lane Kiffin that. I would largely agree that the SEC has been top-heavy. I don't think that's the case. They're not certainly the Big Ten, who's a 2.5-team conference.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the SEC this year, I would expect Georgia, Tennessee. I'm a little surprised Florida is just that bad. Florida just got that ass swooped.
Yeah.
They were that bad. But Bama, certainly, I have high expectations for Arkansas, Ole Miss, A&M, LSU. Huge disappointment in LSU. LSU sucking out loud absolutely hurts them.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think if you look at the ACC, isn't the ACC top-heavy? When you look at Florida State, now Clemson at the bottom. But, I mean, obviously Duke's going to be a problem for everybody. I think Miami's in a very interesting position. North Carolina's the truth. That's a good football team. but nobody has the depth that the Pac-12 has right now. If you go down the Pac-12, I think I could put at USC's got the best offense. I think arguably the best offense in the country.
Yeah.
The best offense in the conference. I think Colorado, Oregon, Oregon State, Utah, Washington, all legit. I think Washington State's going to win a lot of games that you don't think they should win. And I actually was really impressed with Pac-10 Jed Fish in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Pac-10.
I was pleasantly surprised at how efficient they looked offensively.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised at how well Jaden Rashada played for Arizona State.
There's no doubt the bottom of the conference is coming up. I mean, there's just no doubt about that.
Certainly. But is Cal and Stanford? No, they're not. They're not. Is Washington State going to win 10 games? No, they're not. Is Oregon State? Yeah, they are. There is balance. There is depth. I think there is a lot that you like in the Pac-12, and I just don't have any doubt. I don't have any doubt that they are the best conference in the country here and now, right here today.
Yeah.
On September 6th, yeah, absolutely they are. 57 to 43 in the poll that's up in the comment section here on YouTube. 133 votes, 57% say yes. I'd love to hear.
Yes.
You know, in the comment section, if it's not the Pac-12, who is it?
Yeah, let's hear from all the unbelievers.
Hella Billy gives us $5 to say Pac-12 is great. Can't wait to see how they do next year in a 12-team playoff. Oh, that's right. Cold-blooded. There was no reason for that shot, sir. Awesome. Hero 75 for $10. I hope that next year the Big Ten and the Big 12 organize cross-conference games with old Pac teams. It'd be interesting to see if those games bring more viewers as Big 10 versus Big 12 games and Pac-12 games. Well, I mean, if you look at the numbers and you start to really pay attention to what games people watched this week, we are front runners by nature of being fans. I mean, Ohio State, Indiana drew 4.6 million viewers. How many of those you think were Indiana fans? 12? Not million, like 12 total, I think. I mean, Penn State drew 3.5 million against West Virginia. Nebraska Mini was 3.5 million. Carolina, 3.4. Oregon State, San Jose State. How about Oregon State, San Jose State drawing 3.2 million? You keep doubting me on Oregon State, my friends.
Yeah, man.
Texas. Oregon State outdrew Texas. Texas and Rice, 3.2 million.
You know.
Northwestern Rutgers, 2.7.
The idea that Northwestern and Rutgers got 2 million views is crazy.
Remarkable. I'm telling you, man, college football is healthy.
Yeah.
And dominant. Healthy and dominant. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. Healthy and dominant. Without question. Ruff's official is here.
Wow.
You'll notice they only hate on certain people. Well, but isn't that what everybody does?
Yeah, isn't that how that? I mean, are we supposed to hate everybody?
We're supposed to hate nobody? Like,
dude, if you're Team Jim
one
Harbaugh,
of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Dude, if you're trying to say that we shouldn't hate Jim Harbaugh, it is what it is, man.
I don't know. Phoenix Master, the power of free to air stations. Let's put Arizona Wildcats on there every week. Well, I think that's coming. I absolutely think that's coming. Ruffs also says they'll hate on SMU and slob all over BYU. When have we slobbed all over BYU? Well, thanks for being here and commenting, though. JC, Penn State has a lot of priests watching them. Guy, come on. That's terrible.
You know.
Posted proof I was here from the beginning of the show in the members-only chat, so you boys see it.
I knew today would be shitty.
That was you yesterday.
you know.
Aaron, are you okay, dude?
Aaron's a Texas Tech fan, not a Wyoming fan. He'll always be. That's some weird record type front running there, Monty. What's some weird record type front running?
Yeah, what do you mean?
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Today feels like we have a
Yeah.
weird karma now. I don't know what's going on.
Wyatt likes to fight guy in the chat today.
I don't know what's going on, but it feels like we have some weird energy in the hizzy today.
Sorry if you're offended by that.
Maybe should we?
This is the Monty
do we
Show.
need to start
the truth
over
in
here?
Sports talk streaming. When you
Oh, I know what we need. I know what we need. We need to hit a buckshot.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's get it done. Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show. Had a long discussion with a bunch of you last night. And we're like, my blood raz is sold out in buckshot. Make them stock it again. Reached out to the CEO. He said they're working on it. Cheers, friends.
Yeah.
Bucked Up Energy, the buckshot's amazing. 200 milligrams of caffeine, you guys. It's just a mental brain lift. That's what it is. It is, what I refer to it as, is it is an adrenaline shot for your brain. Because you just feel better. You have more energy. You get a mental lift. You think better. You can concentrate. You got those TPS reports to do in the afternoon. Buckshot.
Yes.
You need to go work out. You want a little more focus. Use their Banff. Use their, use any of the Bucked Up pre-workouts. You're just going to rock your workout. PR Day, Bucked Up pre-workout, right? Everything they make, from their collagen peptides, their all of their pre-workout, all of their BCAAs, all of their products have good ingredients, and they simply do what they tell you they're going to do. You need low stim, they have low stim, 100 milligram, no caffeine. You need high stim, they've got all kinds of stuff for you. Banff, I'll tell you, Callan Von Moger's Banff product is so good. My wife loves it. But they're multivitamin. I love their collagen peptide, hair, nails, and skin. Amazing, you guys. Hook it up. Use the promo code Monty20 at checkout. And yes, they have watermelon buckshot. It is sitting there on the website. I checked it right before the show. Go get it right now, buckedup.com. It is not only in stock, it is on sale. And if you use the promo code Monty20, it's a huge saving on buckshot. So go check it out, buckedup.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Tarrant County, boy. Monty hates khakis. I do. I never wear them. I never wear them.
He's not talking about the pants. He's not talking about
Yeah, I think he is.
He's not talking about the pants.
But I think he is.
No.
Daniel Dixon says, Bucked Up pink lemonade is the bomb. It is really good. Cherry candy Bucked Up, you guys. Let's go. It is so good. J.K. Marshall says, Harbaugh makes Monty sad. He doesn't. The thing that, again, I think we get into a place in college sports where we turn coaches into gods. But who's like, we're talking about Nick Saban. That's a guy you should laud and give the benefit of the doubt.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
What has Jim Harbaugh done to earn that?
Well, he won a national championship.
Never. What has Jim Harbaugh done to earn that? He plays in a soft conference. Essentially a two-team conference until next season. But right now it's a two-team conference. What has Jim Harbaugh done to do that? What is he goated at? And this whole the cherry on top of the Harbaugh, Sunday of hate is that he openly has disdain for the rules and now wants to attack the NCAA. So it's not that I just for some reason hate Jim Harbaugh. As a Bears fan, shouldn't I love Jim Harbaugh? I should, but I just think he's what's wrong with college football.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
He's what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Jim wants to stir the pot, dude. There's no doubt.
I look at Jim Harbaugh. He's a lovely regular season coach in a very, very mediocre Big Ten. If you look at his schedules over, I don't know, call it the last 3 seasons, go look at his schedules, and you tell me how many big games has Jim Harbaugh won, and you're like, my God. You got
to get stroked.
Jim Harbaugh. How did he ever?
I'm so bricked up right now.
Last year, Jim Harbaugh goes undefeated until the Fiesta Bowl and loses to TCU by beating Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn, Maryland, Iowa, Indiana, Penn State, bye week, Michigan State, Rutgers, Nebraska, Illinois. And then his big win last year was at Ohio State. Who here is impressed with that schedule?
Man, is that anywhere as tough as the Pac-12 schedule?
Then in 2021, Western Michigan, Washington, at Michigan. He beat Washington. Good win, 31-10. NIU, Rutgers, Wisconsin, Nebraska, bye week. Northwestern, Michigan State, Indiana, Penn State, good win. At Happy Valley, he won. Maryland, Ohio State, Iowa, and then lost to Georgia in the Capital One Bowl. So you're winning all these easy cupcake games in the Big Ten.
Because it's garbage.
And you're winning the games. To his credit, Jim Harbaugh has won the game he's supposed to win, Ohio State. Do you want to beat Ohio State or do you want to beat TCU? Because in my mind, I'm thinking you probably want to win both those games, but Jim Harbaugh's not that guy.
Yeah.
And even in the COVID shortened year, they were 2-4. Okay, throw that one out. The guy just does not win the majority of his big games of consequence. And I mean like TCU. I mean bowl games.
Georgia.
He's not that guy.
Yeah, and I think the issue is that the reason that Jim Harbaugh annoys me is because of the way he acts, his attitude, his sort of shtick, if you will. Like, Nick Saban can be an asshole because Nick Saban is Nick Saban, and nobody's going to question that.
Correct.
Right? Nick Saban can give you, or can be a pain in the ass about the depth chart because he can, because he's won a bunch, and it's undisputed. The problem with me for Jim Harbaugh is that he hasn't won a national championship. I'm not even sitting here saying the guy's got to have 7. I just want any. Literally just one.
How do you this year justify him not winning the national championship? If you're a Michigan guy, let's go. I'm here for it. How do you justify Jim Harbaugh not winning a national championship this year? Because I don't understand this whole. Do you realize that this guy is damaging Michigan? If he leaves this summer, which 9 out of 10 people think he's gone, because he's never taken a 6-game suspension from the NCAA. He will never do that.
Yeah.
So if he leaves Michigan, how do you explain the damage that guy's done over the last 3 years? I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't understand it.
Yeah.
Richard, Harbaugh is instigator. If he beats your team, he will insult the coach. I remember when he was a coach at Stanford, he created heated words with some of the coaches in the PAC except Oregon. Because that's who Jim's a red ass. Covering him at Stanford and the 49ers. Jim's not that guy that's beloved by his players.
Mm-hmm.
He's that guy you tolerate because you believe that he's going to win you games. And as soon as anything gets turbulent or you don't start winning games, Jim Harbaugh jumps.
Yep.
That's who the guy is. That is who he is. And I think he's terrible for college sports.
Yeah, and again, it has nothing to do with Michigan in the sense of, hey, we don't like Jim Harbaugh because it's Michigan. I mean, I think Michigan's one of the most important brands of college athletics. I mean, again,
I agree.
Michigan basketball is incredibly important to the process. And I think, again, I think the best point on Jim is that he does damage Michigan's reputation. And it surprises me that Michigan is so committed to keeping him after the way he's handled everything and, everything he's done. I mean, when we're not doing the show, my whole opinion on Jim has always been, dude, like, Jim is the guy you bring in when you just want to go to the playoff. Like, when
Correct.
you just kind of want to make an appearance and say, yeah, we're a college football playoff team. We've been there. Like, we're good.
Yeah.
But if you want to win, Jim is not the guy.
By the way, the poll update is the Pac-12, the best football conference in America. 56% of 233 votes say yes, the Pac-12 is the best conference.
Do you believe?
I'm a little surprised by that. I am a little surprised by that. Lance Johnson, Deion, and the Buffs will be in the Pac-12 on the way out the door to the Big 12 and UT's recruits. They're not taking Texas's recruits.
No.
They're not. Hans Stoley. Jim won the Super Bowl, or was that John? That was not Jim. That was John. John Teal for $2. Can Washington, Oregon State do enough for a late invite to the Big 12? I don't think so. The Big 12 wants nothing to do with 18 and 20.
No.
I just don't. It's sad, but I think Oregon State's that great program that's left on the outside looking in.
Yep.
That for me. You know, like it is. It's really interesting that when you look at Oregon State, that's a program in an athletic department that does it right. That does it 100% right.
Facts.
And there's a lot of them. The sad thing in the Pac-12, there's a lot of them, right? USC largely under Lincoln Riley, I think USC's done a really nice job. Clay Helton was terrible. I mean, pick your poison there. I look at Chip Kelly at UCLA. They largely do it right. Caleb DeBoer, you can look at Dan Lanning. You can look at, I mean, you go up and down this conference. Obviously, Kyle Whittingham at Utah is one of the best head coaches in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And again, why I keep going back to Jim Harbaugh is he clearly does it wrong everywhere he's been, and yet just keeps failing upward. Just keeps failing upward. And I have issue with programs like Florida State. This is a massive year for Florida State after all of the politics in the ACC. To see Mike Norvell come out and dominate, just dominate LSU in the second half. That was hell of impressive. That was, my goodness, what a moment for Florida State. But I look at Pervin Liar. I look at Jim Harbaugh. I put them in the same class, dude.
Yeah.
I think they're terrible for the kids that are in their programs. I just think they're terrible for it. Let's see. Beavs and Cougs to the ACC. Not going to happen.
Nope.
Not going to happen. The ACC wants nothing to do with Stanford and Cal largely. Do you really think they're going to add two more of their former Pac-12 friends? No.
Associates?
No. And I don't know who saw it, but did you guys see that Kirk Schultz released a statement that basically said, yeah, I'm going to sue. We're going to sue. That's the way we're going to get whole here. We're going to file a lawsuit. Okay. You do you.
You do that, bud.
You do you, Kurt Schultz, because I don't see that happening. Jim Choi, Pac-2 schools better get the heavy donors and state politicians together to raise the dough and do Calford to the ACC move. They won't. ACC's not going to add them. They're not going to add them. It's just not going to happen. Mike Smith, Beavs to the Big 12. We swap them out. ASU and Wazoo can be buddies. No. Ruff's official. They'll never bring up Prime's recruiting scandal or his history of domestic violence. What has that got to do with anything that Deion Sanders is doing now? And Ruff's, I get it. Dude, you like to come in and stir the pot. When you say stupid shit like this, do you realize how much you expose yourself? Like, why would we talk about Deion Sanders and talk about domestic violence or talk about, like, how many years ago were those allegations? I don't understand why guys, and we appreciate your comments. We appreciate that you interact with the show. But, dude, find somewhere else to be so negative because it's just not worth your time here. When you bring up stuff like this and you have no idea what you're talking about, like, I'm just never going to read another one of your comments.
12 years ago, dude.
Yeah, I'm never going to read another one of your comments. It's over. It's absolutely over. Mike Smith, Ruffs is just a male Karen. And it's really unfortunate because Ruffs official loves to focus on the negative. And he's like, well, I'm holding you accountable. No, you're not holding us accountable. You're not. You're making yourself look like an idiot. You're talking about something that happened, what'd you say, 12 years ago. What was the result of that? You don't know. And I don't care if you know because I'm not talking about it. I'm not doing that. I'm assuming you're going to, like what I said about Pervin Liar. Everywhere Pervin Liar has been, there has been females being abused, crime being committed, including by Pervin Liar. Everywhere he's been. No exceptions. No exceptions. You look at what happened at Florida, you look at what happened at Ohio State, no exceptions. Yet you want to go to the best story in college football, and you want to rewind the tape 12 years to allegations to try and bring somebody down. Dude, you're bringing yourself down. You clearly have issues in your life that make you unhappy, and I'm sorry you're dealing with that, dude. But I'm not going to sit here and allow you to be negative, dude. Like it's just not, there's no reason to focus on that.
Yeah.
There's not. And we're just better than that.
Yep.
We're better than that. And so to you, I bid you goodbye. Like I'm not going to try and soil
through all that.
Yeah, I'm not going to soil somebody's reputation because you're mad at your life, dude. Like I'm not going to do that. Brad, I wondered why we all like Kobe again. But again, this is the question.
Man, I don't know why we struggle with this.
Why do we want to go down and why do we want to go back and bring people down who have been convicted of no crime? Yet when it comes to Pervin Liar and his resume for female abuse, his resume for off-field player issues, his resume for absolute debauchery and a lack of leadership, in my opinion, you guys would hire him today to coach your program. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
You understand how many good things Kobe did in the world?
Well, it's not even that. Go back to Eagle, Colorado. The thing that I don't understand is you're writing him off when, and I covered Kobe while this happened. So you want to go tit for tat, I'm happy to do it. Kobe Bryant fought to clear his name. Ultimately, he came to a settlement. Does not mean he's guilty, does not mean he's innocent. But what I know is he was not convicted of a crime. And the thing that I believe about Kobe is that Kobe Bryant worked every day the rest of his life, as he said he would, to prove he was not the person that he was accused of being. Do I give him a free pass on it? No. Every time this comes up, we talk about this on the show. But I don't believe you go back 12 years to domestic violence allegations against Deion Sanders and think that's okay. That's not okay. It's not. It's one of those things where, yeah, I'm just not willing to do it. Mm-hmm. Roundabout says, you guys never want to talk about uncomfortable things. Guy, are you new on the show? What are you talking about? Kurt Peters. I met the Kobe girl. She admitted it was consensual. I'm sure you did, dude. I'm sure you did. Phenomenal Hebrew. Remember, these are the same people that say Jesus died for their sins. Well, different show. Jim Choi, Michael Irvin was wrongfully accused and lost his NFL Network gig because that's who we are as people. Michael Irvin's on video not doing what he's accused of, and he still lost his job. I don't know Michael Irvin, and I'm not here for it. Cleveland Rocks, life is too short. Let's all be positive. Enjoy the show. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand this whole thing where people like Ruff's Official are negative every single day about every single topic.
Because it's easy.
We just don't.
It's easy.
We don't need it. We don't need it. Seriously. It's just, it is what it is. Jackson Graham, lots of PAC simps in the chat today. Apparently, it's just that day. I told you 20 minutes ago, there's a weird vibe in the chat today. I don't quite understand it. There's a weird vibe in the chat today. Kurt Peters, she lives in Parker, Colorado. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I don't. What's up with the show today, Drew Money? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Football 50-10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Bucked Up Energy. Bucked Up Energy. Get to buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off your purchase at checkout. I think this Travis Kelce story is a big one. No damage in the ACL, but I can't see him playing tomorrow night on Thursday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tough part is that, Travis Kelce is one of the most important pieces for them, obviously. And it's early season. If you were to mess around and find a way to lose this game, okay, I guess blame it on the Kelce injury. But they're better. They're better. And I think the Chiefs will find a way to victory here. But again, I think the win is he doesn't have ACL damage. It's just a bruised bone. And I think that's great news.
I think that Travis Kelce is the only reason the offense is as smooth as it is. And I think if Travis Kelce doesn't play, I think you have to seriously look at everybody else in that offense. And I think if Travis Kelce doesn't play and you have options at quarterback, I'd be very careful with Patrick Mahomes tomorrow night. Because I think on opening night, we've seen this story repeated multiple times where quarterbacks without their best receiver struggle. Because you're not a team yet. And they're playing the Detroit Lions. They're only a 4.5-point favorite at home, the Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. I'd be really careful fantasy-wise and cash-wise on this game. I'd be very careful. I would be heavily leaning on the Detroit Lions. If Kelce doesn't play because of this knee, I would be heavily leaning on the Detroit Lions. I know it's blasphemy to say you better be careful with Patrick Mahomes, but man, I would be very careful with Patrick Mahomes in this game.
Well,
very careful.
They're clearly going to need someone else to step up. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, if they're going to win this game, it can't just be Patrick Mahomes running for his life and throwing it down the field to exactly who. That's the issue.
And can they run the ball? That's another big question. I think Detroit's going to be a real problem.
Yeah.
I think Detroit's a better football team than anybody gives them credit for. What do you guys make of this Sean Payton, Russell Wilson story? Basically how this goes is Sean Payton this summer told Russell Wilson, if you want to be a good quarterback, stop kissing so many effing babies. He wants Russell Wilson to stop worrying about Russell Wilson's brand and start worrying about winning football games. I love this out of Sean Payton. Isn't this exactly why the Broncos hired him?
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what Russell Wilson needed, and I think this is what the Broncos need. They need that fire, and I think the Broncos are a team that, obviously has to contend with the Chiefs to win their division, and I think the tough part with that is that you're not the Chiefs. You're not as good as them, and you haven't been, and I think Russell Wilson, dude, if Sean Payton, can find a way to restart the engine on Russell Wilson, and he can turn Russell back into 3,500 yards, 4,000 yards, that would be great for that team. But I have serious reservations about whether Russ is still that guy or not. Because the problem is he feels like a guy that got paid and lost the fire now. He feels like a guy that got paid and isn't as concerned. And that's the issue.
I think Russell Wilson's cooked. That's just my opinion. But I think Russell Wilson, we have seen the best of that guy. He's never been the same quarterback since that interception at the goal line in the Super Bowl. And I understand it. That's traumatizing for a guy's confidence, and you're probably never recovering from that. But, Hey, man, I'm telling you, I love that Sean Payton did this. I think it's a game changer, and it is the only tact you can take with a guy who had an office and was holding meetings in his office on the second floor at the Denver Broncos facilities last year.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Russ likes himself some Russ. I mean, that's very apparent. So, I don't know, dude. I mean, I just think that Russell Wilson got paid, got really high on the horse, and now needs to be knocked down a few rungs, and hopefully Sean can do that.
Yeah, I agree. Bryce Martin says Payton has to do that in order to get the most out of him. He does. For sure. Conference Commissioner Gumby, Aaron Wilson better than Russell Wilson.
Agreed.
Main event. What's up, main event? Russ is being served humble pie daily, as he needs to be.
Yes.
As he needs to be. I think you have no other choice, because how do you get anything else out of Russell Wilson? I don't know what you do. Football 50, 10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show.
My bad. Sorry.
Is presented by Bucked Up Energy. Get to buckedup.com. Everybody, and I talked about it earlier, everybody's been asking me why they're out of buckshot. They have watermelon buckshot, and I think it's the best flavor. Mm-hmm. It's available now. It's $3 off the full price, and then you can apply Monty20, the discount code, to get further 20% off. Go get it. They're selling out. Buckshot works. It is the best product, in my opinion, that I use on a daily basis. I also love their whey protein. I also love their collagen peptides. My wife uses their greens. She uses their endurance product. Mrs. Monty trains for these triathlons and uses all of their pre-workouts, all of their BCAAs, you name it. Their stuff is just full of good ingredients, and it works exactly the way they tell you it does. Make sure you get to buckedup.com and use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off your purchase of $20 or more from I did it again. I conflated the two. Buckedup.com. Make sure you use the promo code Monty20 to get 20% off your purchase at checkout. No minimum purchase. Just 20% off at checkout. Monty20. On the Monty Show, presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. At theadvocates.com, you never have to worry about reaching in your pocket because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case.
While the injury attorneys at The Advocates can't actually prevent you from being in a cycling accident, they will be by your side to support you following your accident. Our legal services won't cost you a dime out of pocket. So when you need an injury attorney, call us. We're The Advocates, your Utah personal injury attorneys. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate.
Theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Hour number 2 of the show, let's talk about the clock changes in college football because I think this has been one of the most controversial topics in college football, and I think it's very interesting that the rule change that everybody's up in arms about is the clock no longer stops on a first down unless you're inside 2 minutes in the half and in the game. So it doesn't stop on, first down in the second quarter. First down in the third quarter. Does not stop. Has to be in the last 2 minutes of the half or the game. And coaches are upset about it because on average over week 1, it cost offenses 4 to 6 plays per game, and it shortened games by 4 minutes. But the interesting thing is those 4 minutes went to commercial breaks. So it did not actually shorten the game. It shortened on the field play. I think this rule is fundamentally changing college football. It changes the way you have to call a game. If you're going to lose 4 to 6 snaps on offense a game, which is what we're talking about, for high-powered offenses like USC, that's probably not that big of a deal. But who are the guys bitching about it? It's guys like Kyle Whittingham at Utah. It's guys like Chip Kelly at UCLA. Those are guys that value every single snap of the football on offense, and I can't blame them. If I were applauding methodical offense, I'd be upset as well. Jake, is the new clock rule good or bad for college football?
Yeah, I don't think it's good for college football. I mean, again, we're not playing football games to rush through them, and my comparison here is the same thing we see in Major League Baseball, right, with the pitch clock. All we're trying to do is accelerate the on-field portion so we can get busy in the off-field portion, and it bothers me. I understand that ESPN's got to make it spread. I understand Fox has to make it spread. I get it, dude. All these TV networks have to make their money. The part that I don't love is that the fan ultimately pays the price. Because, yeah, sure, does it take 4 to 6 snaps away? Sure. 4 to 6 snaps, in my opinion, if that's deciding your fate, you're not a very good football team. That's just my opinion. It is what it is. But ultimately, I just don't know why we have to speed everything up in sports. Why do we have to speed up baseball games? Why do we have to speed up college football games? Why are we speeding up everything we can under the sun? And I don't get it. Honestly, and I know, we don't talk a lot of golf on this show, but it's one of my favorite things about golf. I get commercial-free coverage, for the final grouping. It's one of my favorite things. And why do they do that? Because they're able to sell it to a sponsor who's willing to cover that cost. And I don't understand why we want to say, okay, let's prioritize the last 2 minutes, because in 90% of football games, if there's something's going to happen, it's going to happen in the last 2 minutes. But what about those games against the juggernauts? What about the Alabama-LSU game, coming down the fourth quarter? It's a one-possession game. Dude, I want to see as many snaps as I can get out of that game. I want as much juice as I can get out of the squeeze.
Yeah, I agree. And the funny part about that is if you look at media timeouts, TV timeouts, none of that changed. It simply is that they want the game to move quicker. And it shaved about 4 minutes off of game time. And I think if we're being honest about it, the 4 minutes was off of broadcast. It was 2 minutes of game time. and it changed the way that guys called games offensively. That, to me, is the biggest deal. You're changing the exciting part of the game, which I have not really figured out why you would want to do that. And the time where we're talking about this, again, is not the end of the game or the end of the half. But you are hurting teams trying to get into rhythms on offenses. You are hurting teams who are trying to substitute or, really teams that need every play because they run a lot. Or you're hurting the way that teams run their offenses. Changing, hurting, maybe interchangeable. My point is, when we do this in sports, and I think baseball is a better example of this, when we do this in sports and we don't allow guys to throw over to first base, we don't allow batters to step out of the box, we don't allow pitchers to take their time. Oh, because the fans watching at home. Who cares about the fans watching at home? And I understand it's TV money, and I understand you don't want 5-hour baseball games, but this is college football. Excitement is not hard to find in college football. Did we really need to hasten the pace of college football games by 2 minutes on the field and 4 minutes in broadcast? Is that really what we needed to do? I think this rule is incredibly bad for the game. And, I see all of you voting in the poll already, and it is a runaway. It is 68% to 32% who say the new clock rule in college football is bad for college football.
I mean, you're not going to get the team just ground and pounding their way to victory anymore because, again, the clock runs too fast and you're going to run out of time. Because what's the strategy? For teams who want to ground and pound, who have the big offensive line with the workhorse back that they could just turn around and hand that thing off. Hey, we got 4 downs to get 10 yards. If we get 3 yards a carry, 3.5 yards a carry, we're in a good place. Like, that's the thing that we don't get anymore. Again, it's the same thing in baseball. You know why the pitch clock's such a problem in baseball? Well, you don't get the cat and mouse game between the runner and the pitcher anymore because the pitcher can't throw over as many times as they want. You don't get the hitter being able to step out at the last second because they can. You don't get that anymore. You don't get little, we are too concerned about the TV product. Now, on the other hand, we obviously have to say, hey, college football just realigned something gnarly because of the TV partners. So to me, I look at it and I say, hey, we're in a position where it's like, dude, the TV partners are the ones controlling everything, but ultimately as fans, all we want to do is watch good football. And that's it. I don't know. I'm not a Chip Kelly guy, but I agree with Chip, dude. I hope you played all your commercials. I hope you got all your spots. I hope, you're getting the value out of it because it's not really helping the fan. It's certainly not helping the coaches and players. Who are we appeasing? We're appeasing the ESPNs of the world. And I understand why we have to do that. But I just don't think it's healthy for college football in the long run to be trying to shorten the product, to be trying to shortchange the fan. I don't think that's a good look.
I think it's really interesting that Chip Kelly and Kyle Whittingham, it was a little out of character for him. Kyle Whittingham forcefully called out TV executives and forcefully said, hey, I hope you got all your commercials in. I hope you sold all your – this is not who Kyle Whittingham at Utah has been. And it's a little surprising to see him go after it. But is this gravitational? Is this the end of the world? It's not. But again, I agree with Jake on baseball. I just don't know why you had to mess with it. I don't understand why this was something you had to do right now. Why right now?
What did it fix? That's my thing. It's what I said about baseball when we went through the whole thing.
It didn't fix anything.
So
I think it fixed absolutely nothing. And I think fans care. Yeah. I truly do. Steven Smith gives us $10 to say, I hope the Big 12 does it better than they did last week. The Big 12 teams that are supposed to be on the top half of the conference better show up this week. Well, I mean, you're always going to lose games.
Listen, dude, TCU, it's not that TCU didn't show up, man. Did you look at the box? Did you look at the score? Yeah, they were atrocious on defense. There's no question about that. But part of them being atrocious on defense was Shedeur Sanders' ability to run away from your defensive line, right? It's a balance. They put up 42 points. It's not like, Colorado went in there and won 45-7. I mean, you showed up. There's no doubt. you just didn't show up enough.
But I think what Johnny Hodges said, the TCU linebacker, I thought was really interesting when he called them a laughingstock. And I think that, for me, I think that was very refreshing. I thought it was really important for him to call them out. And you'll see the clip is on Twitter where he calls TCU the laughingstock of college football. They're not. They are not. I thought it was very interesting, though, that you had him say that about TCU. I would agree that you can't have TCU finish as a 6-6 team. That's not going to work for the Big 12. I don't think it's the end of the world that Deion Sanders win his Week 1 game, because everybody's talking about Deion Sanders and nobody's talking about TCU. I think TCU will be fine. My bigger concern is, what about Texas Tech? Because that was tough to watch. And it was not that they were outclassed. Tyler Shuck didn't do the job. That's why they lost to Wyoming. It wasn't the defense. The defense more than did their job in Laramie. It was the offense, and in particular, it was Tyler Shuck, in my opinion, not performing at the level required for Texas Tech to win that game. Period, point blank.
Yeah.
That's the team I'm a little worried about. I look down at Waco. I'm a lot worried about Dave Aranda and the Baylor Bears. I am a lot worried about it. I am not worried about TCU. I am not worried about TCU at all. Let's see. I'll do it eventually. Gives us $5. I love that lifestyle. I don't want to see 4 commercial breaks over the course of 4 plays happen when A&M scored a touchdown. It's incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating because we don't need more commercials. And if you listen to Chip Kelly, and again, I will say, I think Chip is the more boisterous, but Kyle Whittingham as well. But they both basically have the same point.
This new rule that's crazy. We had 4 drives in the first half. This game goes fast. Hope you guys are selling a lot of commercials.
Thanks, Coach.
Hope you sold a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
Like he said that on a national TV interview.
Yeah, looking to prove a point, right? I mean, again, I'm not going to sit here and say nicer things about Chip Kelly than I had to say about Jim Harbaugh. I think Chip Kelly hasn't won enough. He's not a great college football coach. Like, he's average. And that's great. You want to be a red ass about the commercials? That's great. But the people that need to be red asses about it are the Sabinator, Kirby, all the usual suspects. And they're not going to say anything.
They're not.
Why would they say anything? They're the ones going to the best bowls and winning, and they understand the money game. But that's the issue. Again, it all comes back to college football is about making money, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree. The poll is up in the comment section. Make sure you vote. Is the new clock rule in college football good or bad for the game? Bad, leading 67-33. Let's get your comments in here. Jeff Woodworth said Shook looked scared all game. It's not even that Shook looked scared. He just made bad decisions. He was a guy who looked at a receiver, saw him open, and went somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I could not comprehend what he was looking at. We watched most of that game, and we were all like, damn. Like, where, what is it that you saw on that route that you didn't throw the ball?
Yeah.
Because they ran the right route combinations. They called the right plays. Shuck just didn't deliver the ball. You got to let that ball go, or you're going to lose to Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was rock solid, in fact. I had no problem with what Tech ran out.
Yeah.
They sputtered on offense because Tyler Shuck would not make the play at the time it needed to be made. And Wyoming knew it. And the other thing that drove me crazy at the end of that game, why the flip?
Nice. That was a really good save. I saw you dialing up the F, and I was like, all right, dude.
Why did you blitz on the last play of the game?
No idea.
You were controlling Wyoming's offense without blitzing. And so you sent the freaking house, and you left the tight end wide open in the end zone to win the game. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I do not understand it.
And so that's why I say anyone telling you that Tech's defense was the issue. It wasn't the issue. That particular play, yeah, I agree. You shouldn't have blitzed, but that's not on the guys on the field. That's on your defensive coordinator making a bad call. I mean, it just is what it is, right?
Yep.
But I think, with Texas Tech, the offense has to find its way, and that's the issue.
Are you a Tyler Shuck believer?
No, I'm not. No,
You're not.
I think you made a bunch of bad decisions. I think that the guy. You have to understand.
This is the first time you've said that.
You have to understand something about being a quarterback in college football. It's week 1. You're on the road. You got to go out and deliver. I don't care that it's Wyoming, right? There's expectations. They were expected to beat Wyoming, and I know everyone was like, "Oh, well, it's Laramie, it's altitude." It's Wyoming. I don't care about any of that. No. You're Texas Tech. You need to go in there and win that football game. You're expected to. And the idea that you had wide open receivers and you couldn't deliver the football that's a bad look. It's a bad look. And again, we had this whole meltdown over Quinn Ewers yesterday, right? I guarantee you Quinn Ewers won't be missing wide open receivers against Bama.
If Quinn Ewers was the quarterback at Texas Tech, they beat Wyoming.
Facts.
It's inarguable. And Tyler Shuck did not, if you look at the box score, 31 of 47, 338, 3 touchdowns and a pick. That does not tell the story of his game. I think more accurately, what tells the story of the game is you look at the defense at Tech, 6 tackles for loss and 2 sacks.
Yeah.
You look at that. The defensive numbers are fine. You should be able to do better than 13 points in overtime. But it's overtime.
Mm-hmm.
If I said Tech's going to go to Laramie and only give up 20, are they going to win or lose the game?
They're going to win.
Oh, they're going to win going away. Nah, that's not how that worked. That's not how that worked.
Yeah.
But I could go on. Tech's defense gave 149 yards passing. You're going to win the game. Yards per pass, 4.4 yards per pass for Wyoming. You're going to win the game.
Pretty damn good, dude.
You're going to win the game. What else? They gave up 3.9 yards per carry. You're going to win the game against Wyoming. Yet you didn't. I could go on and on about it. It is so frustrating. That game was one of the most frustrating games of the weekend. Will Ewers get skewered this weekend? See what he did? Ewers and skewered?
Ewers and skewered, like it rhymes and stuff.
You see what he did there?
It rhymes and stuff. I see what you did there, right.
Boom, Tide!
Big 12 is D-Bill? What does that mean? Lil Jimmy, Big 12 is better than the ACC?
Well, I could have told you that, dude.
Yeah, but the ACC's got arguably the number 1 team in the country right now.
Just ask Brett McMurphy. He'll tell you.
Brett McMurphy loves him some fucking Florida State. He loves him some Florida State. Boyd Lake, hello.
Boyd.
The SEO king of America.
Boyd.
The top of many a mountain range in Utah is right around 7,200 feet. It's no joke. No, it is not. No, it is not. Absolutely it's not. No doubt about it. Jackson Graham still getting weird vibes from multiple commenters.
It really hit me.
I don't know what to tell you. James, the unofficial mayor of Cowboy
now,
Country.
I can't see the comments as he's reading them, right? Right? That's true?
True.
I can't. Okay.
Can't see it.
I'm willing to, go out on a limb here and say this is going to be an SMU take. Is this next comment going to be an SMU take?
Let's see. Texas Tech has a soft quarterback, Morton, and I think he's better than Shook. Morton had to play last year at Okie State, and I will say he looked really good.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Oh, hey, look at that. Isaac Rex from BYU should be able to join the program at 5:20 today.
Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah. BYU, man. Got the job done. I know everyone was all pissed off about it.
BYU's coming through.
Hey, man.
Isaac Rex will join the show at 5:20. I like it. Lance Johnson. This is like a red-assed Monday. Half is PO'd their team didn't look good. The other half is over enthusiastic.
Well,
that's great.
Week 1.
That's great. Roundabout. FSU is not number one. We would agree with that. But there's a lot of people who don't. James Knight. Hey, James Knight.
What's up, bud?
Love the passion you guys have for college football. It's so tribal. Oh, my God. I love the fact that Luka Doncic got ejected and Slovenia lost. Gary, yeah, that's basket. We used to do that on this show. I'm a Tech fan, but I'll give all the credit to Wyoming for winning that game. They went in fired up, prepared, and they executed their game plan to near perfection. I mean, they had to go to overtime. I think Texas Tech beat themselves. I think that the defensive play calling late in the game was sus, major sus. And I think Tyler Shuck was not that guy.
Yeah, I just don't know what the coordinator was looking at with that blitz. The idea, obviously, is, hey, we want to get home. We're going to send an all-out blitz, but he couldn't get home. The guy's too mobile.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see. Aaron Wilson, if Shuck struggles versus Oregon, Morton needs a chance. Relax. Let's see. The problem
it's garbage.
It's Oregon. It's Oregon. You're gonna struggle. That's a good team. But it's in Lubbock. It's in the house. The defense is going to be ready. And I think Bo's Nix is going to have a really difficult time operating in that building.
I just think when we say, hey, if Shuck is going to struggle, okay, well, what does struggle mean? Because
if they lose,
is that losing? Is that more like, hey, he had more wide open receivers and, he missed them or chose not to throw it to him? Like, what are we talking about? I mean, if he does with Oregon what he did against Wyoming, I agree. You got to give, your second guy a shot, but I don't know that he's going to.
You have. BYU is very good at their job. Thank you, Kenny Cox. Shout out to Kenny Cox in Provo. Appreciate you getting us Isaac Rex today. Craig Morton relative has to be. RB says duck.
Duck.
Oh, man. Bryce Martin, we've literally known for offense. If we have our normal output, we win, but we can bounce back this week. You're known for offense. And here's the difference, though. If you're Baylor, how do you bounce back if you're Baylor? Well, you fire your head coach. I don't
disagree.
It feels inevitable now.
Yeah.
It feels inevitable now that you're going to have to let Dave Aranda go, unfortunately, because he's a great dude. They're going in the wrong direction.
Do you know what that's like these days?
But Texas Tech is fine. Texas Tech is fine. I promise you. Don't get off the Tyler Shuck train yet, because the kid can still play. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He can still play. Christopher Shannon, BYU with that explosive offense. Well, Isaac Rex, one of their great tight ends, is coming on the show. We'll ask him about it. I think BYU's defense, Jacob Robinson on the Pro Football Talk all-defensive team of the week for BYU, I think BYU's defense is legit. Can they score enough points, and how much of that offense is going to be available this weekend? Because you got to put your weapons on the field.
Yeah.
Boyd Lake, get those tortillas ready for flinging. Oregon's coming to town. We'll see. Vivid Psychosis. UCF 45, Boise State 34.
Boise State.
My team is 2-0 in a very ugly way. I'm pissed because there's no pro rata or power conference for the program for this.
Dude, you're going to be living on that all year.
Where's the pro rata we deserve?
Man, we're 7-0. I want the pro rata we deserve.
I don't understand the pro rata and shit. Where's the pro rata we
Hey, guys.
Will San Diego State ever get away from the pro rata we deserve?
No.
I don't think so. I'm trying to get the line on UCF Boise State. It is at Albertson Stadium. The line is UCF -3.5 at 60 over. That's going to be interesting. Roundabout says agree. UCF beats Boise State. That's a tough place to go and play. Again, in Boise, that is not your normal place.
Yeah, but
this feels a bit much. UCF 45, Boise State 34. Now, UCF scored 56 on Kent State. And let's not let's not get crazy.
You gotta get stroked.
Well, you don't.
Get it going.
My guy, John Rice Plumlee.
Yeah, come on, dude. Can we talk about this just 2 seconds? Dude, know the guy's name.
The announcers were calling him John Rice Plumlee.
His name isn't Rice.
Rice Plumlee. 281, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. They're very good. They are Josh Seliskar and that defensive line, dude.
Ain't playing.
Oh, my God. I don't know what to expect out of Boise. I feel like I was a little disappointed in Boise last week. And again, I understand it was Washington, but 56 points? 50, and you 56, you scored 19. You gave up. That's not.
You're trying to score more points than the other team, right?
That's generally not how I would recommend you go about winning games.
Because it's garbage.
They did absolutely nothing on either side of the ball.
No.
And I don't know how you fix that. You go home and you take on UCF, who I think is going to win the game. I would think they would cover that number, and it goes under.
Yeah.
Because Boise State's going to have to show me they can play against a physical defense, and UCF is a Jeremy Callahan, Baylor was beyond bad. Terrible.
It's embarrassing. That's what I'm saying. Dude's on fire watch. I mean, he has to be. Dave Aranda has to be hey, letting you go, bud. I mean, it's Texas State, dude. Come on.
Christopher Shannon, Dave Aranda is so dull. Wow.
I mean, publicly, I would agree with that. You don't really see this guy with much fire.
He's dull? Corey Erickson. That's just so wrong to call somebody dull. Corey Erickson in Tech's defense, playing in Laramie is just sucky. Not excusing them, just remembering Utah's game there in the old days, and everyone hated it. And it's worse now because the stadium's beautiful and the fans are lit. Jim Choi says Baylor needs a quarterback. Well, and now your starting quarterback is hurt. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
And now the Utah Utes in that ball-breaking defense.
And Cam Rising and Brant Keithy.
Without Blake Shapen. Come on now. You're in trouble. And I don't think Brant's going to play. Cam Rising should play. Brant Keithy probably will not. But we'll see. We'll see. It's fine. Jim Choi also says Tech's going to be fine when they go 0-2. Then we can have a Tyler Shuck conversation. Gumby, you mean the Shuck truck? Exactly.
Yes, the Shuck truck.
BYU's D looks fine. They look totally different. That defense looks totally different. RB, Baylor didn't do any scouting. Texas State quarterback is an LSU Auburn transfer. I have a feeling they did do scouting and they still got their ass beat.
Yep.
Jeremy Callahan says shuck and jive. Okay. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Black 45. Hey, will we take Aranda back as DC right now? You would in a second. Excellent, DC. Boss Frog, hang 100 on Baylor.
Bro.
Good Boss Frogs. Now can we all just
Are you okay, dude?
Can we let our balls hang out now? Can we can we get the happiness back in the chat?
No.
Boss Frog is here.
Boss Frog, I need we need to talk about this. So, as a Horned Frog fan, where did we come down on Dion's performance? Because I don't know if you were here yesterday. I don't remember you commenting much for obvious reasons. But, are you feeling okay about Sonny and company?
I think Boss Frog, you were here yesterday, I think I'm not worried about TCU at all. You have an offense. Your defense probably needs to tackle better. By some accounts, they missed as many as 30 tackles against Colorado. I believe the number that they're credited for is 22.
Oof.
That's the number that TCU is saying we should have made 22 more tackles than we made.
Yeah.
But I can't remember who on the old tweet machine in Dallas, Fort Worth was saying that it's like 30 tackles that TCU missed against Colorado. And we were watching the game. They missed a crap ton of tackles.
A ton.
And I'm not talking about one-on-one in space. I mean like 2v1. And no, it was just I think they'll be fine.
Dude. I don't know that Colorado's a 40-point offense, but I do feel really good about them being high 20s offense reliably. I have no doubt about that.
We'll find out. Bryce Martin. We're in wounded animal mode, but we have to cut out all the penalties and miscues on offense. Stay the course. He means Texas Tech. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Jeremy Callahan, UCF looked pretty darn good. Bounce house was lit.
Yeah, good old John Reese can run a little bit.
Whew. Almost cost me my prize picks that night.
Yes.
We're going to lose. He has to keep us within 21.
Okay.
Texas Tech fans are here, man.
Okay.
Are you guys really feeling that downtrodden about Tech?
You should not have lost that game, man.
Well, I get it.
That's a rough look, dude. Look, I think the problem for Tech fan right now is that you didn't play, you didn't get the juggernaut matchup the way LSU and Florida State did, right? You didn't get some grade A power brand of a matchup. You got Wyoming, and yes, Wyoming's tough. Yes, they're going to stop the run. They're going to, they're going to play you tough. There's no doubt about it. But there's also no doubt about the fact that you should have won that game. And the fact that Tyler Shuck didn't exactly look too good in that game, It'd be one thing if, hey, I hit him in the hands and they didn't catch the ball and, we just didn't make enough plays. That would be one thing if you were Texas Tech fan, but that's not what it is. What it is your quarterback, the guy that you thought and had a lot of confidence in, the guy that you felt like, hey, this is someone that's going to carry us through the Big 12 and we're a dark horse to win this conference. And not that any of that's ruined yet, but you're on your way to ruining it, right? You can't lose another game for a little while here. You got to go on a run now. And I think when you looked at the schedule in the preseason, you were like, hey, Wyoming's a game that, yeah, sure, it's going to be tough. We're not going to blow them out, but we should win that game. So the idea that you left that game after losing in overtime with that blitz play that was incredibly poorly timed, the idea that you lost, to Wyoming and, you left Laramie after that type of loss is just tough. And I think that's why Tech fans going through it. They don't feel good. They're not sure what Tyler can bring to the table. I mean, what's the adjustment?
Well,
how do you adjust to, hey, Buddy's wide open down the seam and you look the other way? I don't know how you adjust off of that. Was it just an off week? Maybe it was.
I think it was. And I think the altitude played a role. I think what else? Tyler Shuck's a better quarterback. Can we at least all agree on
yes.
that? Tyler Shuck's a better quarterback than we saw against Wyoming.
Yes.
You're going the ultimate other way because you're playing one of the best teams in the country in Oregon. We're going to find out who you are. Barfing Chickens, hello. If BYU loses to SUU, then Slovis needs to take a hike. They're not losing to Southern Utah.
No.
Jim Choi, Diego State beating UCLA. I thought he said Diego. Do you know who Diego? Is that Juan Diego State?
I don't know who Diego State is. So,
Diego Maradona University.
And, pardon me,
well, that game is at Snapdragon, and the line is 14.5 to UCLA. And here's the ultimate San Diego State don't want to talk about it question.
No.
Is Snapdragon a home field advantage?
No, it's not.
Will they
Not
sell
yet.
out Snapdragon Stadium? Will they sell out?
Might be close.
35,000 seats?
Does UCLA fan come down?
UCLA fan doesn't go to the Rose Bowl.
Well, yeah, because the Rose was a pain in the ass.
It is. I don't think they sell out. And I'm going to be very interested to see how Dante Moore does. I'm going to be very interested to see, what he and what they have in store for this defense. Like, I look at the numbers on Dante Moore are not stellar. 7 of 12 for 143 yards. I don't know. Let's see what they do against Diego Maradona State. I do think they win.
Yeah.
I do. I think they win. I think that UCLA wins. And I think San Diego State, they better sell that place out.
Yeah.
They had better. Christopher Shannon, still can't believe she actually said that. The pro rata they deserve. Why does Dixie College play this weekend?
I don't. What's Dixie College?
Not sure who Dixie College is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. So
Dixie College. Eagle-eyed Sullivan for $2. Will SFU cover the 31-point spread? Yes. Don't bet it, please. I am begging you not to say that FSU won't do something until they do.
Please.
Because that matchup in particular, I think if you look at Florida State, is there a more impressive team than Florida State that we have seen so far? I mean, they're supposedly favored by 31 points, and the number's 53. I would think they do cover that number.
I think the advantage Florida State has on the hype machine is that nobody thought, well, I shouldn't say nobody because Brett McMurphy did, but nobody in generality thought that Florida State, was going to be some juggernaut. Yes, were they going to contend for the ACC? Sure, absolutely. But just because you contend for that weak-ass conference known as the ACC doesn't mean that you're a juggernaut. Well, seriously. I mean, I'm tired of hearing about how, Duke is some amazing team. They won that game. They outplayed Clemson. But Duke does not deserve to be on the same field as Florida State, bro.
Duke is Duke.
So Coach K isn't walking out of the football field anytime soon, okay? So let's not sit here and say that Duke is Duke and Zion's going to come back and blow out his Jordan football cleat. Like, that's not happening.
Duke.
So just get the hell out of here with that.
Duke is Duke. Duke.
Damn.
I'm more interested in USC Stanford. That's a 29-point number for USC in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. They're 29-point favorites. Interestingly, though, the number's 70.
Yeah, Stanford will cover that.
I think Stanford gets under that. I think Stanford will surprise some folks, and they will get under that number. But that we could see. Mike Rodriguez, Utah Tech, formerly Dixie College, plays Montana. We know. Utah Tech. Utah women's soccer, or Utah Tech women's soccer, big shout out to you. Good to see you. Let's see. Jeff Woodworth. Faber football sucks, but they have great toga parties.
You're casual.
Okay. Does Jake know this reference? Do you know this reference? Toga! Do you know this reference? He's going to look it up. Faber College, Faber. Come on, boy.
A toga party is a Greco-Roman themed costume party where attendees wear a garment inspired by ancient Roman clothing with sandals.
What has happened on this show today?
The costumes, party games, and other entertainment often adhere to the Roman or Greek theme.
His lack of knowledge of Faber College and toga parties. He is telling you without telling you that he's never seen Animal House.
Yeah!
Toga! Toga!
You're on double secret probation and you want to have a toga party? Yes. Yes, I do. Cisbro says Animal House. How do you not know that reference?
I've actually seen Animal House and didn't know that reference.
Conference Commissioner Gumby, it's over for Jake on the Monty Show like it was when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. The German bombed Pearl Harbor?
Oh, no.
He's rolling. Barfing Chickens, what about UNC App State game? I'm excited to see if they can pull it off again and embarrass UNC. No. Why do people want to see, why do you guys want to see North Carolina fail?
Is it that Mac Brown choked Buddy out at center field after the game? Or what? What's the hatred towards UNC?
North Carolina. 18-point home favorites, 58's the number. So it's going to be, you're expecting NC to score 40 points. You guys think that happens? I mean, they look pretty good against NC State. But Appy's no pushover. We'll see. It's fine. There are some really crooked numbers, and very few of them lie in the ACC this weekend. But don't forget to get that money down on Syracuse to cover the 23.5 against Western Michigan. Please.
Wow.
Please.
Man.
All right, let's get you guys hating on ESPN. Disney versus Charter. Have you guys seen this scandal?
And please, really quick, if you're ESPN hater guy, please save the ESPN is dying take for another day, because that's not what this is.
Yeah, I loved it on Twitter today when somebody was like, here's why ESPN is eventually dead. ESPN is not battling with Charter Spectrum Cable. ESPN's parent company, Disney, is battling with Charter and Spectrum. I'm sure you guys have heard about this. ESPN is the leverage for Disney to do a deal with Spectrum and Charter. And here's what they're arguing over. Not ESPN. They're arguing over streaming. And the fact that Spectrum/Charter wants to be able to sell a streaming bundle to its customers and pay nothing for it to Disney. They want to bundle Disney Plus, Hulu Live, and ESPN Plus in a PAC and sell it to their customers, but they don't want to kick any of that money that they make from selling it back to Disney. Disney's, of course, said, hell no, we're not doing that. And so they're in a carriage dispute, which has seen Charter Spectrum lose access to, amongst others, ESPN and ABC, which pissed a bunch of people off in the state of Florida, because right as the college football season kicked off with Utah and Florida, ESPN, ABC, and Disney pulled their programming from Charter and Spectrum. Thus, we have a battle. The issue really comes down to the simple fact that this may be the kick in the ass that ESPN, ABC, and Disney need to go direct to consumers, because that would seem to be the plan. The question is, are you willing to pay for ESPN and ABC, your home for just about every major professional and college sporting event? Are you willing to pay to get it directly in your house? I'm a yes on that, Jake. Where are you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a requirement, right? I mean, to not have ESPN is to not watch sports. I mean, ultimately, like, we talk all the time on the program about how, hey, like, you know, Fox literally has nothing that you care about outside of a live football game or a live baseball game or whatever. ESPN can say, hey, we've got, let's see, NFL, Major League Baseball, F1, NHL, NBA, like everything under the sun, right? So I don't know how anybody sits here and is like, yeah, we're not going to have ESPN. We're not willing to pay. I got news for you. I'm an ESPN guy. I've got ESPN Plus. I've got everything that you could want for sports. And yes, we do a show and we got to stay in the loop. But if I didn't do a show, I'd still have it because I want access on my phone. It's the beautiful thing about YouTube TV. Not that they have anything to do with this conversation, but my point is that access on the phone is king. And ESPN's got that dialed in. So with all due respect to Spectrum and all these other companies that want to try and lay the wood to ESPN and Disney, really, that's not going to happen because Disney/ESPN knows they've got the consumer. The UFC fan has no choice. It's ESPN or bust, right? Like, you're not going anywhere else. And that's why I say ESPN is the juggernaut in the space, whether you're Spectrum, whether you're George Kliavkoff, whether you're anybody under the sun that has anything to do with consuming product or having them carry your product.
And furthermore, with creating content.
Yeah.
Again, remember what the dispute is here. It is the streaming rights to Disney, Hulu, and ESPN. And Spectrum Charter doesn't want to pay for it. So you're what are you? You're either cheap or you're out of touch with your consumer. And I think you're cheap because you know that you're going to make an ass load of money on that. And what Spectrum Charter wants to do is offset their cost of paying for Disney channels, ESPN, and ABC. That's what they're trying to offset, which makes ESPN lose money, paying for content that they have exclusive access to. I don't think this is an ESPN problem. I think it's a Disney, and really I think it's a problem with Spectrum Charter.
Yeah.
I just don't. It is so frustrating that every time Disney's involved in something, ESPN takes a beating on it. I don't get it. Corey Erickson, ESPN even has Cornhole World Championship games. They really are everything in sports entertainment.
That's what I mean, dude. Like, You're really going to tell me that even average Joe guy, like I can tell you right now, dude, even for the most out of touch, unplugged businessman sales guy who just needs something on the TV during the day to keep him
like
busy.
Animal House?
No, actually, no, they're not having Animal House.
My bad.
They have ESPN on the tube. It's
Yes.
either a news channel or ESPN. And the only reason I know that is because we sit in a lot of meetings at a lot of people's office, and what's on the tube depends on the day, but it's either going to be a news channel of whatever variety or it's going to be ESPN.
Yep.
Fox FS1 is not going to be on the TV.
Nope.
You can just bank on that.
Teddy Wayman, a member for 8 months.
Okay, Teddy.
Let's go, Theodore, the Tile King of Utah. Sup, my fellow homies. It's great to be talking about actual games instead of TV deals. We agree. Hundo P. Roundabout says, agree about ESPN apart from a cable provider. I don't know why you wouldn't. Jeff Woodworth, I am battling with Charter Spectrum. They scrambled some of my favorite channels. Oof.
That's what I mean. Dude, you can't be a cable company and mess around with your consumer because YouTube TV exists. And by the way, ESPN's in tight with YouTube TV, right? Yep. Every time someone signs up for YouTube TV, what did you say? It's $10?
$25.
$25, dude.
Every time somebody creates a YouTube TV account, ESPN gets a check for $25. Let that sink in. And then you see Matthew saying YouTube quad screen is legit. It is amazing.
Right?
On YouTube TV, it's amazing.
So with all due respect to Spectrum and Charter Sports or whatever it is, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
Like, cough it up.
I did enjoy the YouTube TV multi-screen, didn't we all?
Yeah.
Didn't we all? I'm telling you.
And we haven't even experienced Sunday Ticket yet.
Yeah. Heartbreak 25, I got my daily dose of Big Ten hate. See you tomorrow. Did we hate on the Big Ten
No,
today?
we hated on Jim Harbaugh, bro.
Oh, that's every day. RJC man, Jake is a knob polisher. He has dreams of working in Bristol.
No.
Do you really?
I don't.
Wow. No, Jake does not. Jake really hasn't represented himself very well today. I mean, who doesn't know about Animal House? I mean, he's not wrong. You know. Mike C. Rodriguez. Didn't ESPN also have the National Tag Championship? They did.
Yeah, dude.
And dodgeball and on the Ocho. Yeah.
That's right, T.
Darts, poker championships, you name it, they've got it. Absolutely. Cleveland Rocks dropped Spectrum last Friday.
Thank you.
Really? After not being able to watch Utah game, got YouTube TV and love it. Should have done it a lot sooner.
Oh,
there you
so
go.
there you go.
There you go. OG Gary, ESPN owns the playground. They get to set the rules. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Jeff Wilbert, the Ocho has great dodgeball. See? There you go. Don't forget BYU tight end Isaac Rex coming up in 30 minutes. James, you missed my super chat. We missed your super chat? Let's see. Who else did we miss super chats? James says San Diego State is now called Snapdragon University, naming rights sold so they can get that pro rata they deserve. They're never getting away from it. What else do you say? Brady Hoke should be fired. ACC better than the Big 12. Don't be a douche.
Oh, please, dude.
The ACC's better than the Big 12.
You're off your rocker, man.
So this goes back to what we originally started talking about on the show today. And that is the Pac-12 the best football conference in the country?
Right
I don't
now.
think there's any doubt that the Big 12 is the best, or the Pac-12 is the best college conference, football conference in America.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But Big 12 versus ACC? Boys, is this really an argument? You take anybody in the Big 12 and you look at BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, huge win for Houston at UTSA.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa State's not good. I thought Kansas actually played well, although it was Missouri State. I think it's close. I mean, Texas Tech is a big part of the formula of success in the Big 12. They look terrible. West Virginia is West Virginia. TCU losing hurts. Baylor losing hurts. But then everybody else won. UCF, Texas, Okie State won. Oklahoma scored 73 points. K-State, Kansas, Iowa State. How did Iowa State win?
For real.
30-9. That's a good day. It might be one of the only good days.
Yeah.
In the ACC, I don't know, man. Like, I also think Clemson losing hurts that conference dramatically. Dramatically. If you look at the real winners, I mean, you had one. You felt really good about Florida State, but I think Duke's win does not offset Clemson losing to Duke.
No.
Clemson got exposed.
Yeah, that's a bad look, dude.
That's not a playoff team right now. I think North Carolina delivered. I think Pitt delivered. I feel pretty good that the rest of the ACC did their job. I love the fact that Mario Cristobal got a win at Miami. I thought that was huge. I think they're pretty close. I don't think one's better than the other. That Texas Tech loss is a big deal for the Big 12. I think that is a big deal for the Big 12.
Yeah.
That's a flipping problem, in my opinion. Roundabout, Clemson is in decline because Dabo won't use the portal, and it showed big time. I mean, he doesn't have a quarterback, you guys.
We built this program on NIL.
17 head is in Jacksonville still. He ain't coming back. And you don't have a quarterback. And I think it is a real shot at your pride that DJ looks so good at Oregon State.
Yep.
I think if you're a Clemson fan, that hurt badly.
Yep.
That hurt badly.
But you're not firing Dabo. You're not.
You're not firing Dabo, you guys. But again, don't you expect far more out of Dabo? But do you know how hard it is to recover when you have a pure lack of talent? At that level, because they're not here to win the conference. They're here to win the national championship.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
And you can point to Alabama. Alabama lost by a grand total, I think, of 6 points. They were 6 points away from the college football playoff last year in total.
The dynasty is not over.
Come on. Alabama's still damn good. Can you say the same thing about Clemson?
No.
No, I don't think you can. I don't think you can. That's a big problem. And you look at, I will say, Baylor and Tech and TCU losing is not a good look for the Big 12. It is not, but the ACC is built on Clemson and Florida State.
Yep.
That they are. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt about it.
And that's what I'm talking about. I don't know how you recover from that in the Big 12. So, yeah, there's probably an argument for the ACC. I don't think much of one. And it's week 1. Tech loses to Oregon and starts 0-2. Not going to be much pew-pewing going on around here.
Nope.
Because that's not going to feel good. Jim Choi, Super Mario beating Jimbo in Miami. We'll see. I'm not going to believe in Mario until Mario wins a lot more games.
Yeah, you got to prove it.
Yeah, I agree. Jeremy Callahan, Duke effing clobbered them, man. Unbelievable.
It's probably different than what you're thinking, though.
One of the funny parts about that, though, was Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard plays this awesome game for Duke and then asks in the post-game interview a professor of his to let him turn his homework in late.
Taylor, if you're seeing this, please let me turn in my homework late because it's due tonight, I think at 12, so it may already be 12.
Hey, Riley, great game last night, man. It was so exciting. Congratulations to you and all your teammates. But, you know, Wesley Williams and the other linemen who were in the class, they said they prepared ahead and did it ahead of time, so why didn't the quarterback? So no way, man. No extension.
Gangster.
Dude.
Let me just repeat.
Bro.
Duke is Duke.
Bro.
Nah, bro, no extension.
Dude.
Hope that grade wasn't important to you, sir.
The unbelievers.
Dude, you got a support buddy, man.
Oh, that's hysterical.
You got a support buddy.
And your lineman sold you out. Well, you know, all of us fat asses up front did our homework early. Ooh, the girly quarterback couldn't do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, screw him. How awesome is that? Well, Wesley and the other linemen, they got theirs done
early. You know
early.
what I love about this professor guy? He's got just a little bit of an accent. So when he's talking, you're like, oh, man, you just knew
He's
from the
got
beginning.
a little red ass in him.
Yeah, a little.
Taylor, if you're seeing this, please let me turn in my homework late because it's due tonight, I think at 12, so it may already be 12.
Hey, Riley, great game last night, man. It was so exciting. Congratulations to you and all your teammates. But you know, Wesley Williams and the other linemen who were in the class, they said they prepared ahead and did it ahead of time, so why didn't the quarterback? So no way, man. No extension.
Hey,
okay, fuck you. How's that?
Hell of a game there, kid. But no, Riley, no, you're done. You're done.
Dude.
Right. You're just a student in my class, sir.
Student in my class.
Ain't no reset.
Which I think is hysterical. I think it is hysterical. T. Higgins is a badass.
Nice name.
For $5. Conferences should be able to trade schools if the school wants to leave.
Guys.
We'll trade Boston College and Syracuse for West Virginia and Arizona State. Who are you going to get in return for Clemson? Boston College going to have a better year than Clemson, I think.
Yeah, undefeated, 10-0. College football playoff berth. Let's go. Yep. You already knew it.
The nerve of you to be like, oh, yeah, we should be able to trade Boston College and Syracuse. Well, who's going to trade Clemson? That's awesome. Alex Rea, what's up, Alex? That professor's favorite Annam House character was Dean Wormer.
Pause, bro. Pause.
I would love to have hit the golf ball off that horse's ass. By the way, got fit at PXG today. Boys, wait until you see the clubs I got. Wait until you see the bag. I have a bag that's got a putter rack on it. It's got a magnetic putter holder on it. PXG's got the stuff. Wait until you see it. Lance Johnston, causing 2 turnovers at the 1-yard line was part of Duke's game plan. Oh, absolutely.
Duke is Duke.
Duke is Duke.
Yeah,
Check the
Duke
box.
is Duke.
2 turnovers.
Whatever.
Gary Wolf, what was the professor's name? Mr. Hand, was it?
Yeah, well, can we roll it again? What was his name? I don't know his name. What did he say?
Taylor, if you're seeing this, please.
Taylor.
Professor Taylor.
You're in the hell no, bruh.
Ain't no extension.
Yeah, it's goddamn mine. The answer is no. The answer is no. Roundabout. Bro, that magnetic putter holder is 80s tech, but it's awesome.
It's a life hack, dude.
It is. I have a really nice. And today I got fitted for a PXG putter. My guy Garrett at PXG. I was in there and I was like, dude, blade putter. He's like, well, let's try some things out.
Soft person tendency.
He's pulling the blade putter left. He's like, well, okay, I know you love the blade putter, but try this one. He gave me a winged mallet putter. Boom, right down the middle.
We're in a control position.
Right down the middle. It's amazing. Roundabout. PXG makes a nice putter. Yes, they do. And now I have it. And, well, I'll have it in a week because they make it custom for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. James Knight, how many sets of PXGs have you got, Monty? They're sure hooking you up for the love or what? I have 1 set of PXG clubs. That's it. Just 1.
That you bought.
That I bought. Yeah.
And I also have a set that I bought.
There's no hookup.
Yeah.
No hookup. Timothy Green, hey, hole in one. Yeah, I wish.
No, it's called 2 holes for a reason.
Yeah. Let's see. Jeff Woodworth says Scotty Cameron all day. I currently use a Scotty Cameron, and I got to tell you, I never thought these words would come out of my mouth. I love my Scotty Cameron. I am a Scotty Cameron guy. I picked up that PXG putter. He built a PXG putter for me on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's more comfortable. 36-inch shaft, so they can custom build you a shaft length. 36-inch shaft.
Can you measure it?
And I'm telling you, the mallet putter, I'm not giving away my Scotty Cameron, but I will honestly tell you, PXG, they don't advertise on the show, you guys. You know that. I'm telling you, the PXG putter is more comfortable. And what is Jerkface over here always telling me on the crane? Bro, will you just roll the ball with the putter? Roll it. Think about rolling it, bro. And what did I do today with that PXG putter?
Rolled it.
It rolls.
Just saying.
It rolls.
My guy over here is like, did you see the ball hop like 10 times? Yeah, dude, because you're hitting it like 100 times harder than you should.
Yeah. Roundabout. I currently have TaylorMade set, but thinking of switching to PXG, dude.
Roundabout, are you in Utah, bro?
Where are you, Roundabout?
Yeah, where are you, dude?
Well, if you need a... You let me know. He says, I use a Cameron putter as well.
Oh, I have no dispute with the Scotty Cameron. It is a beautiful putter.
It is.
I'm telling you, what did our boy Garrett say today? Hey, people think they can just go to the store, and because they bought a Newport 2, that means they're going to be really good at putting. When, in fact, you actually needed a longer putter, right? Your Scotty's just a touch short, not very much, but a touch short. Get some a 36-inch long putter, gets him the mallet set up, and what do you know? Dude's rolling it, knocked in like 4 or 5 in a row. Like, it's all good, dude. It is all good. Absolutely, positively, all good. So
I am of the belief, and again, this is just me. Don't forget BYU tight end Isaac rocks somewhere around 20 minutes once practice is over. I am of the belief, and this is just my opinion, I am of the belief that golf reveals you. Because, dude, I was in there today swinging a driver, and he built me a driver that put 50 yards on my drive. I am not even kidding. You guys, I am not even kidding. Cougar Tracks, we're on golf now. Sorry, Rex, maybe next time. RJC Man 38, Odyssey putter is the best.
Yep.
By the way, real quick before we get back to sports and the Big 12 and all that stuff. What you putt left-handed now.
Mm-hmm. With a mallet putter.
My guy was such a terrible putter. He switched to a left-handed mallet putter.
With a super stroke, I might add.
The super stroke's undefeated.
Yeah.
I will probably get re-grip. The super stroke grip, forget it.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I'd putt way better left-handed.
It is, yeah.
Way better.
Yeah. T. Higgins is a badass, says, I use a 9-inch shaft.
Yeah.
Cock.
I had an Odyssey putter for years, still have a 2-ball putter, but haven't used it for a while. The White Hot, the Odyssey jailbreak putter might be the best putter I've ever used.
Roundabout, are you in Utah?
Where are you?
Yeah, dude, where are you at?
Roundabout says I'm a lefty, so I putt left-handed too. So does Jake.
Told you, man. Told you.
Gary Wolf says stroke.
Yeah.
Giggity says, so Jakey 2-hole switches up the super stroke? He does.
You got to get stroked.
He does. And Donuts, Canyons Golf Fun. Let's rip. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Cannot wait this weekend. Yeah, White Hot, exactly. Matt Ritson for $5 last year. Disney shut down all ESPN and ABC on YouTube TV. Bring back very quick. Well, because they came to an agreement. Roundabouts in Florida.
Ah, damn.
Boss Frog, I'll stick to my Mizuno 225 and my Scotty. I'll let you guys know because I even told my guy, the PXG fitter that we went and saw today, I told him I'm a Scotty guy. I'm a Newport 2 Scotty guy, and I feel like I putt okay. That PXG putter is stupid. AAR, Bomb Tech Mallet Putter by Bomb Tech Golf. Never heard of it.
Yeah, Bomb Tech.
I'm open to
stuff.
it. I am open to it. Hour number 3 of the Monty Show and all of our college football talk on the Monty Show, as always, presented by TryDayTrading.com. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. You guys, we talk about it all the time. Another big-time tech company forcing their employees back in the office this week. Meta and all of them back to the office 5 days a week, or you got to find a new job. Why put yourself through that? If you're unhappy at work, if you're not making the money that you want to be making, TryDayTrading.com. Day traders that graduate their program and day trade full-time make $1,000 a day. Part-timers make $300 to $500 a day. You guys, you can do this part-time and you can make $100,000, $150,000 a year. Full-timers make $240,000 to $260,000 a year at a minimum. You work for yourself. And if I told you, hey, why don't we give you a $10 30-day trial membership, and that $10 is a tax write-off. It's education and it's a charitable donation. Those are all tax write-offs for you guys. Essentially, you're getting a free 30-day trial membership at TryDay Trading. You get all of their coaching, all of their process, all of their software. What do you have to lose? Live the life you've always wanted to live. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. If you're just tuning in, about 15 minutes from now, we expect Isaac Rex from BYU to join us. BYU's got a big one this weekend, not in paper matchup, but BYU, There are a lot of questions about the BYU offense, and obviously only putting up 14 points on Sam Houston against a really good defensive performance for BYU. They won 14-0. That's not the result that BYU was looking for. We'll talk to Isaac Rex about the offense. We will talk to him about Keaton Slovis. We'll talk to him about how exactly BYU came out of game number one, and I would expect a more robust offensive performance. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how guys like Isaac Rex feel, because you got to remember Isaac Rex is a junior. This is a guy that's a leader on this team. This is a guy that's a veteran on this team. He's a guy that is going to set the tone. He's a guy that's in that locker room and in practice every day, raising the bar of expectations offensively. So we'll talk to Isaac about that. But yeah, BYU's got an interesting test this weekend with Southern Utah, because I'd also remind you that the Southern Utah Thunderbirds, yes, they are 0-1, but they gave Arizona State at Sun Devil Stadium everything they could handle. 24-21, Arizona State won. I'm interested to see exactly what Southern Utah brings to Provo. That's going to be incredibly interesting, because I also think that this BYU defense is legit.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk to Isaac. It's been too long. I'm looking forward to having him back on the show. Isaac Rex coming up in about 13 minutes. Stick around for that. I think one of the biggest stories in sports today, obviously this college football clock rule, I think has really frustrated a lot of people. Lane Train is on the record now on 3sports.com, quoting Lane Kiffin today, talking about the fact that the game of college football is not broken. What are we trying to fix with this? Nobody's complaining that college football games are too long. Nobody's complaining there's a lack of excitement or a lack of movement in college football during games. Why did they institute this rule now? Because I think we both agree. I just don't see a need for it.
Yeah, and we're seeing this more and more in sports where, we have to find a way to change rules and change processes and change the way the game sort of operates and maneuvers. And I don't really understand that because, again, as Lane Kiffin said, dude, the game isn't broken. It's not like, hey, we're taking 6 hours to do a college football game. We're taking as much time as we need, which is only usually 3 or 4 hours. But for a good football game, bro, we were in LA over the weekend, and I couldn't wait to sit around and do absolutely nothing while I watched LSU and FSU. I couldn't wait, dude. I was so excited. And obviously it was a pretty solid game, but my point here is that we didn't need to speed up the game. And the tragedy in this, and I think this is kind of the point that the NCAA can't get away from, is that you're not really shortening the game, right? You're not really total time shaved off the game isn't all that much.
2 minutes.
So we needed to keep the clock running after first downs outside of the 2-minute warning because you wanted to save 2 minutes on the overall game so then you could go and play more ads?
It shaved 4 minutes off the broadcast, 2 minutes of game time.
For what?
It's remarkable. And yet they got far more commercials into the broadcast. That's what we're talking about. This is a money-making move. And I think it's bad for the game. And I think if you're an average college football fan like most of us are, you're not going to love this.
No.
You are not going to love this in any way, shape, or form. Matador Mike gives us $5 to say Tech beat themselves. If that game's played 10 times, Tech wins 9. Totally agree.
Yeah.
I still believe this is a really good team. Hope they have fire in the belly. I love talking about this as well because one of the things we talked about today on the program, if you're just tuning in, was this conversation about the Pac-12 being the best conference in college football so far. And I don't think there's any doubt about that. And one of the drags on the Big 12 is that you had marquee programs in Texas Tech, TCU, and Baylor all go down in flames. And while I think Texas Tech is probably going to be just fine, as is TCU, they're still 0-1. And it's dragging down the Big 12. I think TCU in that group probably has the best chance to bounce back unscathed. That'd just be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at Texas Tech. This is on Tyler Shuck and some of the defensive game plan calling. It's a little surprising they blitzed as much as they did when they were in complete control of that game. even late in the fourth quarter, all you had to do was get off the field. Texas Tech, I can think of 3 blitzes that backfired in their face for first downs for Wyo. So I believe you're right. I think Texas Tech beat themselves.
Well, and this was my criticism of USC against San Jose State. The defense for USC. Hey, you sent too much pressure. Your front four was doing exactly what they needed to be doing.
Yeah.
Were you sacking their quarterback regularly? Well, no. But they also weren't running all over you. They also weren't doing a whole lot in the short game. You were forcing them to play the 7 to 15-yard game. They weren't playing the 1 to 6-yard game. And I think that's too often what defensive coordinators don't understand. I get it. You went to overtime. It was a goal line situation or a red zone situation. You felt like, hey, this is the time to send a zero blitz. But I'm telling you, that was the wrong decision there. And I know, hey, couch coach, whatever, looking back, 2020, like I get it. But you didn't need to do that. They would not. I don't know that they would have scored if you'd have just played your standard defense. I really have doubts.
I agree. Totally agree. This is a tough one, Chris. Ex-NFL player Mike Williams passed away after he fell on his head at a construction site. His dad described this injury. I think most people know Mike is a Buccaneers wide receiver. He was a guy that everybody liked universally. He was working on a construction site, and his dad described it as a beam falling on his head, and he never woke up. Terrible accident.
Yeah.
For Mike Williams. Cougar Tracks, any chance they remove that rule now? I don't think so. Because they see it makes them money.
Yeah, it's just printing for them.
It makes them money.
Dude, we had a comment earlier on the A&M game, I think it was, where they had 3 plays in a row, where after each play, because it was a scoring play, then the kickoff, that 3 plays in a row, where then you get a commercial break. And it's like, dude, I understand
really frustrating.
it, but damn, dude, as college football fans, we don't need it every time, man.
I agree. Let's see. Connor Johnson, all for money. Feels like I'm the only one who's taken the red pill. College football is effed. Greek killed it last year. Well, as an Oregon State fan, I would be pissed as well. And do you guys believe that Washington State's going to sue? Because that's what this sounds like. That's what this sounds like. It sounds to me like Kirk Schultz, and maybe I don't know Kirk as well as I think I do, but I think Kirk Schultz is going to sue. I think that's the only way that Kirk Schultz feels like he can get whole.
Yeah.
But how are you going to sue? It's not like anybody left you high and dry. You left yourself high and dry.
Okay, that's kind of the road I want to go down. We're really going to sit here and be fooled or, threatened, I guess, on some level, because this guy over here who's run his athletic department into the ground is saying that he's going to sue. What exactly are you going to sue on? What evidence do you have that someone perpetrated something against you? The only thing that you have to say here, the only thing that there is to say here, is that all these universities were free agents because the grant of rights was coming to an end.
Yes.
And so what is your argument going to be, that, hey, we were still inside the grant of rights and you guys weren't allowed to leave? Well, no one's left before the end of the grant of rights. So this is classic Kirk Schultz saying, oh, we're going to sue. We're going to sue. Our legal team's on it.
Our legal strategy is coming together. The only thing I can really say today is within the next 7 days, we'll have a much more thoroughly announced legal strategy that I'm sure Coug Nation is going to want to talk about once it's out there. What do you mean once it's out there? That's the thing I'm struggling with. Antitrust related, given the collusion of Fox Sports and the Big Ten to lure away Washington and Oregon, there was no luring them away. And listen, again, I understand the struggle and the frustration for Washington State fans. Hell, Connor, for Oregon State fans.
Yes.
Oregon State probably is the real victim here.
Yes.
But the grant of rights expired. And I think people love to throw around terms like, oh, antitrust. It's antitrust. Okay, that's cool. But what was the antitrust violation here? Is it that Oregon State was left in the lurch because people broke a contract? No, there was no contract that they broke. If they had left today, that's breach of contract.
Yeah.
They're not leaving today. They're leaving July 1st. And they're doing so because they don't have a contract any longer with the Pac-12. So we can sit here and we can fantasize about antitrust. We can sit here and we can fantasize about becoming legally whole. The bottom line is nobody wanted Washington State. Everybody wanted Oregon and Washington, USC and UCLA. And very clearly the Big 12 wanted the four corners. The saddest part of it is Scott Barnes at Oregon State is left holding his bag because they were the odd man out. And it's really unfortunate because I think Scott Barnes and the athletic department in Oregon State wholeheartedly have earned better.
Agreed.
Earned. Didn't deserve. You only deserve what you've earned. Scott Barnes at Oregon State earned better.
Well, he's the one that's suing, right?
Apparently.
Right? He's the one that's, litigating and saying, hey, we're going after people. No, dude, this is my problem with Kirk Schultz. This is my problem with all these kind of guys in college football. The guys that don't win but then want to bark really loud. The guys that don't win want to lie about what happened and then want to sue people. No, you're only suing people because you got beat. That's it, right? If we think about it, Kirk Schultz got beat here. You got outmaneuvered. You got outmaneuvered because you trusted George Kliavkoff to find a solution. You got outmaneuvered because you believed someone's professor who said the Pac-12 was worth $500 million a year? Do I have to remind you that professor is not at ESPN? That professor is not the guy setting the price? Right? This is what I mean. This is the same guy who's been running bad business after bad business. So I'm supposed to sit here and have to believe that this litigation has any legs to it, has any substance, has any
wild.
sort of structure to it?
It's absolutely wild. And I wish Oregon State had a better result, but I'm with you. I think Washington State's made its bed. Now it's got a lie in it.
Yeah.
I think Oregon State's a victim.
100%.
I think Washington State's a victim of their own incompetence.
I think that Oregon State is a long-term, hopefully, my opinion, is a long-term Big 12 candidate. I'd love to see them in 3 years after they go through the Mountain West process get there. But
I would love to see Washington State and Oregon State, and more pointedly Oregon State, go to the Mountain West because it gives them a seat at the table in the college football playoff, especially in an expanded 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
Because I am a big believer that Jonathan Smith and the Beavs are going to win 10 games this year. I think we've already seen that quality come through. If DJ Uiagalelei is the guy that we saw this past weekend, look out. Because if that, in fact, is the case, I think Oregon State's going to be an incredible handful to deal with. Is that the case? I don't know.
And by the way, there have been a lot of people writing about this idea, and this is probably for another day, but there's an idea out there that even if Washington State and Oregon State go to the Mountain West, because of the NCAA bylaws that say you have 2 years to get back to 8 teams, the minimum for conference structure at the P5 level, that they still have the auto bid into the college football playoff for that second year.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know how all of that's going to get
but nobody's
going
to. The problem is that's being negotiated now through this automatic qualifier conversation that's happening in the college football playoff committee meetings.
Yeah.
And now that the ACC is expanded, I continue to maintain the best course of action for Washington State and Oregon State is to get to the Mountain West, which we're told is happening.
Yep.
So we'll see. Chris Morgan, sick joke to have the Pac-12 be this good in the final season. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
But if you've listened to the show over the past year, we've told you. The Pac-12, this isn't new that the Pac-12 is this good. This is not new. The Pac-12 has been this good. The problem is nobody knows it because nobody watches the games.
Yep.
Because of Pac-12 networks. USC has been on the Pac-12 network 2 weeks in a row. Why? Why? You're hurting yourself. But that's what the Pac-12 has always done. And it's not new. The slander on Utah should never have existed because Utah is that good. Because Oregon is that good. SC is arguably one of the top 5 teams in the country right now.
Yeah.
Will it be that way? Probably not, because they're going to eat each other. They truly will. Matador Mike for $5. Kirk Schultz mismanaged his budget. There's no argument there. We are adults, not peewee football. He does not get a participation trophy.
With all due respect.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, dude.
And it's just a travesty. It is just a travesty that the Pac-12 melted down like this. I wish there was some way to spin this or make it feel better. There's not.
No.
There is not. It is not in question anymore. The Pac-12 is dead. When will the funeral be? I don't know. We know it could be as late as June 30th. But what's going to happen with Washington State and Oregon State? My guess is they end up there in the Mountain West. But Kirk Schultz mismanaged himself into the ground, which is exactly what the Pac-12 did.
Yeah.
And it is so frustrating. Isaac Rex from BYU will join us here as soon as practice is over. Let's get your thoughts in here. I love that you guys participate. Please hit the thumbs up. Give us a like. We have had about 5,000 views today and only 143 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. Let's see. Who's in? How about OG Gary? The Pac-12 is amazing the first 4 weeks. Then carnage begins.
Yes.
Truth.
Yes.
Truth. It is what it is. RJ, send OSU to the Sun Belt Conference. Pony can introduce them to Middle Tennessee State. Come on, man. Roundabout. Oregon State would do really well in the Mountain West, to be fair. They would dominate in the Mountain West.
Well, obviously they have that path to the college football playoff, and I think that's, for them and Scott Barnes, like that's the positive side of it. That's why I think for Oregon State, it works so well because you are a 10-win team, and you're more than that in the Mountain West. So if, let's say, because as you were saying, hey, this is all getting adjudicated, so let's say as part of that, 9-game conference schedules come out. Dude, Oregon State's going to dominate that conference.
Now. But are they going to be able to sustain the level of recruiting? Is DJ Uiagalelei going to stay at Oregon State, or would he have ever gone if they were in the Mountain West?
Doesn't he have just as good a chance to get to the college football playoff as he did at Clemson?
He does. Probably better now.
I mean, it's a direct path.
Yeah, I
mean, the sales
think the
package is
G5,
strong.
the G5 is going to keep their automatic qualifier. The highest ranked G5 conference champion gets an automatic qualifier to the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
And Oregon State, if they join the Mountain West, could absolutely be that. Hell, what we saw to Cam Ward in Washington State, they could be that. But I'm sick for Oregon State.
Yeah.
I love Scott Barnes. I think he's a great athletic director. I hope he doesn't go to Washington. I hope he stays at Oregon State and they thrive. And I hope it all works out. I just don't know where. Connor Johnson, y'all guess is as good as mine. What's going to happen? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I just don't know at this point. I don't know what else would happen. I mean, obviously, Oregon State's not going independent.
No.
And you're
They're
not
going to the Big 12.
You're not going to the Big 12 right now. You're definitely not going to the AAC.
I agree.
So the Mountain West is really what you have left, but I don't think for them that's a bad option.
No, I would agree with that. I totally agree with that. Let's see. Chris E. Pac-12 would have been the best conference if time slots weren't having games at 10 p.m.
But I think that's real. I honestly, dude, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Isn't the Colorado game at 10 a.m. kickoff?
It is, yes.
I think it's a 10 a.m. kickoff in Boulder against Nebraska, which, how is that? It is 10 a.m. on Fox. Colorado, Nebraska.
Yeah.
I said 10 a.m. 10 a.m. It's amazing. Connor says, thanks for the Beeve love, fellas. Well, if you're new to the show, that's always been. I'm a huge supporter. Huge. Northeast Ohio, Boise State fan. ESPN fixes college football. Like repairs it, right? That's what you mean? Oh, you mean like the fix is in. There's a lot of that. Jeremy Callahan. What's up, Jeremy? But Oregon State would need to sustain their level of recruiting. They would. Because the Mountain West is no joke. No joke. Roundabout, if the college football playoff is a reality, then maybe. Yeah. Jeremy Callahan, geez, Monty, jinx, LOL. You know. Truth. Corey Erickson, what would happen if the Pac-12 went undefeated in non-con for the season? Respect for the schools? Probably not.
Oh, the respect was already paid by expansion.
Yeah. Jim Choi. Jonathan Smith going to Iowa for $8 million per year. No. Brass balls. Big bad brass balls. We were talking about you the other day.
Bro? All I have in this world is my balls.
We were talking about you the other day. We were like, where's brass balls been? It started when the PAC asked some Pac-12 eggheads how much they were worth, and they believed him. Can you believe that happened?
A professor. Hey, can you do a market analysis on what we're worth? And you came up with $500 million?
That hurts my head.
What?
That hurts my head.
Dude, maybe you need to get a fresh piece of chalk and a new eraser, dude.
Ugh, brutal. Callahan, 10 a.m., be there for over-the-shoulder boulder holder.
Well.
He ain't wrong. So GK keeps his job for 2 more years? I doubt that.
No.
I doubt that.
By the way, anyone excited for good old Pat McAfee on ESPN tomorrow?
Oh, that's right.
It's tomorrow.
That's right. Pat McAfee launches on ESPN. Man, so many people are calling him a sellout. And I just ask, what would you do?
Well, yeah. I mean, you take the 50-plus mil. Yeah, but like...
Not a sellout.
The question is, like... Because on game day, he was wearing a suit and everything.
Yes.
But... I'm curious. What is it? How does that pan out, man?
Yeah, I don't know. But I think that's going to be really interesting to see Pat Mack on ESPN. I'll be very interested on that. As we wait for Isaac Rex, we're told he will join us here in a moment. I will let you know when he is ready. As I see Duff Tittle holding the camera right now. There's Duff. What are you doing, sir? Look at that hat. Look at that hat, Duff. That's a beautiful hat, Duff. I love it. Duff Tittle from BYU. Always good to see you, my friend. And there's Isaac Rex. Oh, there was a flash of Isaac Rex.
How's the audio, guys? Are we okay?
Oh, you're perfect. You're perfect,
All right, I'm
Duff.
gonna hand you over to the man because I know he's really who you want to talk to.
Indeed. Duff, good to see you, my guy. Always good to talk to Duff Tittle from BYU.
Great to see you. Hang on. Let me put him on.
You bet. There he is. Hey. Wow, Isaac Rex looks... What's up, my guy? You look really good. How are things?
I wanted to say that your guys' coverage on all the expansion stuff has been super awesome. My parents love watching you guys, and they'll send clips in our family group chat about, oh, check who's going here, check who's going there, and you guys were at the forefront of that, So I just want to say you guys are doing a great job, and we watch your show all the time. The Rex family does.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Isaac. Are we making too much? Let's do a great job talking about how. Oh, the panic button about 14 points. You guys won the game 14 points. You did the job. Are we making too much out of the fact that it was 14-0?
No, honestly, if I was a fan, I wouldn't really want to, watch that either. I feel like as an offense, we're disappointed in how we performed on Saturday. We know we're a lot better than how we performed. There was mistakes that we made that are easily fixable, and there's plays that we can make, and that starts with me. I had a couple plays that I could have made, and that's just that we just got to take accountability as an offense. We want to play better than that, but we know we're a good offense. We've been playing against this defense this whole fall camp, and we've been doing great. It was just maybe some first game jitters or rust, but obviously we're disappointed in our performance, but we're definitely going to step up and make it better.
It's interesting, Isaac, to hear you talk about it because you're experienced, right? Like you're not a freshman, you're not a young guy anymore. I look at you as a leader on this team. I think you're a guy that people respect. I think you're a guy that people listen to. How seriously do you take that role, and how comfortable are you with where you stand at BYU right now?
I take it very seriously. I'm a captain, so I was voted by the players, and so obviously the players respect me, and they expect me to go out there and make plays and help out the team. And whether it's blocking, whether it's catching, and whether it's pass blocking or run blocking, I just gotta go out there and help the team out whatever way I can, because I love this team so much. I love BYU. I've been here. This is my 5th year here, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. But we got to realize that, just because times get tough, that it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. And we could easily fix our mistakes that, we made on Saturday.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's so interesting about this jump to the Big 12 is expectations. And I know that's a heavy word, and I know that's a word that a lot of people use, but are the expectations that you guys have of yourself? Because I think you guys also do a really good job of insulating yourselves. I think your expectations are always going to be higher than that of, critics, media, fans, whoever. But do you feel like you guys have set the right expectation for this season and for performances like you had last weekend and the one coming up against SUU this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, our expectation has always been, to be the best offense on the field, game in and game out. There's not a lot of future goals that we want to look to down the line. It's more about, individual weeks. And so when you feel like you lose an individual battle on one play or you don't play as well in one game, it's frustrating, but you can't focus on the future too much. You got to worry about SUU. Can't worry about who's next on the schedule. You got to worry about, that week. And so we've had a lot of time to gel as an offense. I feel like we know we're really good. Our expectations are high, and we're ready to, show that, even though we didn't really show it last week.
Hey, a couple more before I let you go. I appreciate you joining us after practice today. How's Keaton Slovis fit in? He was one of the real interesting cats. And talking to him at Big 12 Football Media Day, he's just impressive. He has that. First of all, he's a really good-looking dude. He's a quarterback good-looking dude. Let's be honest about it, right?
He's good-looking,
and he has that presence about him, right? Like, how has he fit in, and how has he been as a new guy on the club?
Oh, it's like he's been on the team for 4 years, 4 or 5 years. He fits in great with the culture. The guys love him. Keaton's just a really humble, down-to-earth guy, but, he has that fiery competitiveness that makes him great. And so I know Keaton, he expects a lot of this team. He expects a lot out of us as players and receivers and tight ends and running backs. He came here to, have a good season. And we're working hard to help him out with his goals.
Yeah, and I wonder when you look at the offense in total, and obviously you guys had a lot of top receiver talent not on the field, but you look at the offensive execution in total, do you feel like you guys blocked, executed? Did you do the little things well, and how much room for improvement and growth is there in those departments?
No, there's a lot of room for improvement on terms of the little things. We had too many penalties. That was obvious. We got into some really bad third downs where it was, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16. We're losing plays because of, alignment issues. It was, that's all fixable stuff, which is good, but, that is the little things that will help us, be, good in the Big 12, be competitive in the Big 12. That's the things that we need to really work on. That could be our competitive edge. But it all comes down to little things that we have a lot to work on for sure.
Hey, last thing for Isaac Rex at BYU. What does SUU look like on tape? What do you expect out of their defense this week?
They look great. Experienced defense, held Arizona State to only 24 points. Obviously, it was a weird game because there was like a 2-hour weather delay. They finished at like 3 a.m.
A haboob. There was a haboob, Isaac.
So it was like a sandstorm or something.
Yeah,
I watched
that's exactly
I
right.
don't even know how they saw the ball. It was so windy and sandy out there. But yeah, no one was even at the game. They all left. So it was a weird game, obviously, for them. But they played tough, man. They're a tough defense. They brought a lot of guys back from last year, similar to Sam Houston State. So, we need to come out firing. I'm happy last time we scored on our first possession, but we just need to stay consistent in our offensive approach, and we'll be a lot better this week. So I'm excited.
My man, good to see you. I appreciate your time. Stay healthy and have a great weekend, all right?
Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you.
There you go. Appreciate you as well. Isaac Rex, BYU tight end. And You know what? I love that guy's leadership, and it's one of the reasons I was really excited to have him on is to hear him talk about the fact that they have the pieces. You can hear that confidence. You can see that Isaac and his guys believe in what they're doing. But, man, it has got to be tough to go in there on a Monday or a Tuesday and watch that film and see missed assignments and penalties and those little things that you have worked on that you know you're better than that situation. That drives football players crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, you wonder what the result would have been if you weren't 3rd and 15. You wonder what you would have been able to accomplish. And I think, again, those are things that I am happy to write off to, hey, it's week 1. I totally get it. And I think at the same time, 14 points isn't going to get it done against a lot of other teams. Like I think he didn't say that exactly, but I think that's kind of the sentiment. Like, hey, yeah, we won the game, we did the job, but there are so many little things that we need to improve on that would up the output. And I think that ultimately is what the offense needs. Now, for all the people out there who want to have the conversation, hey, like, is Keaton the guy? Like, I think it's too early to be like, oh, he's not the guy. Like, yeah, I'd love to see some more creativity. I'd love to see some more aggressiveness. But at the same time, there's no doubting it, man. You're in a new program. It's your first week. Like, there are things that you have to work through. Every player goes through that. So I would expect, 30 points. I would expect, a better performance. But we'll see. We'll see.
I totally agree. And I think they won the game 14-0. And I think it's important to recognize that.
Yeah.
BYU's defense did their job, but so did the BYU offense. You would have loved to have scored 42 or whatever. They did their job. And now that's behind you. SUU's not coming to lose the game.
Right.
They're not going to lay down. It's not going to be easy. That's a good program. He's right about the sandstorm, the Haboob in Tempe.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild. Like, we were with our family this weekend, and a bunch of us have lived in Arizona. That's nothing to play with. That's like a serious situation. To persevere through that for Kenny Dillingham and ASU was a job really well done. But Jaden Rashada did a really nice job for ASU in that game. And I'll also say this before we get back to your comments. The Big 12 needs BYU. The Big 12 needs BYU to be good, and I think BYU can fit that bill. I do. RJ says Slovis plays scared as soon as he gets hit hard. He can't make good decisions. He's got PTSD from the injury at USC. I think we're going to find out. We're going to find out because I look at Keaton Slovis as somebody who's got everything in front of him. They've lost nothing. They're 1-0. Compare that to Texas Tech, Baylor, and TCU. Now, those are different opponents, different games, totally get it. BYU's 1-0, and a lot of teams are not. BYU's got everything in front of them. They've got everything to play for. I just would not. Yeah, I agree, Aaron. Big 12 needs BYU to be good. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. No doubt about it. Boyd Lake says, go up strong for the ball, Mr. Rex. We're pulling for you.
Mm-hmm.
Kids got to stay healthy. Love Isaac Rex. I wish him nothing but the best of health. Texas didn't wow me at all, Jeremy Callahan says. No, they didn't. And Quinn Ewers is hearing it. You think Keaton Slovis is hearing it. Quinn Ewers is hearing it. And the fact that Arch Manning didn't get in the game in garbage time, which I actually agree with. Because the second you put Arch Manning in the game, it's over for Quinn Ewers. And I think Sark knows that. But Quinn Ewers, do you want to be under that microscope? Because the expectations for Quinn Ewers are perfection with Arch Manning sitting behind him because everybody views Arch Manning as the second coming of Peyton and Eli.
Yep.
Which I think is completely unfair, but it is what it is. That's what we as fans do with expectations.
That's Bronny, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's Bryce.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before.
Exactly right. Gary Wolf says, Isaac, there was a boob. Isaac's a married man. He only has eyes for one. Aaron Wilson, Joey has these guys believing there's a lot of talent on this Tech team. Expectations. Is there anybody who believes that Texas Tech is just going to fall off the face of the earth?
No. Because
I'm not that guy. That defense is too talented. Tyler Shook has to do the job.
There is no question.
My guy, I'm a big Shook believer. I'm somebody that has supported him. I know a lot of Tech fans are not. I know this. Again, just like Quinn Ewers, the backup quarterback's your favorite quarterback. Tyler Shook, he's got to have a big step up this week. Now, obviously, it's Oregon. My guy, come on. Okay, and Aaron's going to that game, by the way.
Yeah.
But good luck with that. I couldn't imagine how frustrated Tech players are knowing they win that game 9 out of 10 times. They do.
Yeah.
I think they win that game 9 out of 10 times. I kid you not. They win that game. Conference Commissioner Gumby, 2 holes has to give Aaron a hug right now.
No.
No, probably not.
No.
Chris E.
I'm not doing that.
Arch Manning isn't that good. Isn't he like a third string? Arch
Dude,
Manning's very good.
Don't get me started.
Okay. How do I say this gracefully? He's third string so that Quinn Ewers has rope to fail. That's why he's third string.
Yeah, playing political game.
Yeah, you cannot have him. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Northeast Ohio, Boise State fan. I stand with CM Punk. Bless up. What happened with CM Punk? I know he got fired or something. Shuck was supposed to come out and prove the haters wrong, but he did not yet. No, he has not.
The unbelievers.
Callahan, Arch Manning is the third string QB, but why is he the third string? Because you don't want
Stay hard.
Yeah.
Why we have fine, Mom.
Quinn Ewers has the hardest quarterback job. I'll say it again. Quinn Ewers. I think I said it yesterday. Quinn Ewers has the toughest job in the country.
So in the state of Texas, quarterbacks make a lot of excuses.
Oh, my God.
Quinn Ewers is not afforded the luxury of being able to say the ball hit his wide receivers in the hands.
No, he's not.
He's not afforded that luxury, unlike other certain individuals in the state of Texas. So
why are you taking a shot at Dak?
I'm just telling you. Quinn Ewers doesn't have that luxury. Quinn Ewers has to complete. Quinn Ewers can't be 58%.
You play. My bad. No, you don't. No, you don't.
By the way, before Isaac jumped on the show, we were talking about Pat. Now it's coming out just 10 minutes ago.
Oh, fuck.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting ESPN is going to air Pat McAfee on delay to manage the cursing, apparently. McAfee acknowledged that he would try to lessen the number of F-bombs that he would use on the show, but also said he wouldn't completely get rid of them. So we're already starting, hey, we need to manage expectations with Pat McAfee.
Stop.
Telling you, it's starting already, dude.
Stop. All right, we'll talk about that tomorrow. A lot more college football tomorrow. A lot of NFL on opening night. By the way, Bosa is back. Massive contract. Have all of it tomorrow on The Monty Show. Presented by our good friends at The Advocates. TheAdvocates.com. Chat with an attorney live online for free right now. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.